You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasy.
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? That's right, it's Panic Chamber time, and we're doing it live this week. I got behind on so many other videos and things I was creating. Usually, I do this all nice and tidy with a little upload and a premiere, and you know, we get in the live chat and we premiere it like almost like it's a TV show. If you guys don't know what the premieres are all about, if the super chats come rolling in, I'm going to go through them in order of how the super chats come in, but after the Panic Chamber part of this show, so make sure you know that. Hang around, but if you do drop them, I will go in order of your super chats, so make sure you know to hang out, because it will be just a minute before we get through the Panic Chamber week number 4. Let's dig into it. Panic Chamber.
You are entering the Panic Chamber, brought to you by Grindhouse, vintage movie tees and hoodies. You are entering the Panic Chamber, brought...
Look, the Panic Chamber brought to you by Grindhouse. Look at this tee right here. Look at this tee. Let me show you a different angle of this hoodie that I'm this hoodie that I'm wearing. Look at this hoodie. This hoodie is amazing. It's absolutely phenomenal. Here's the back. Here's the back. I've got hoodies for days. My people at Grindhouse are absolutely phenomenal. I've got this one right here this is probably my favorite one. I'm wearing a different one, just showcasing them. This one's Spider. This one's Spider. They're all vintage, from the attic type of designs. Grindhouse is phenomenal, and we're giving away one hoodie a month. We're giving away one hoodie a month. Whoa. Where are we going? We're giving away one hoodie a month and a t-shirt every week. And then the week that we give away the hoodie, we won't give away a t-shirt. So one piece of apparel every single week. And this week, I don't know what we're giving away yet. I'll let you know. Stay tuned on my Instagram stories for that. But we're going to give away a hoodie probably in the next week or so. These hoodies are phenomenal. They're seriously some of the best quality hoodies that I've ever... I mean, you can go anywhere. You could be in Florida right now, and you wouldn't even feel the breeze. I'm telling you, these hoodies are absolutely phenomenal. On that note, anybody in Florida watching, be safe. Be safe. Let us know you're okay. Hunker down, get out of there. Don't hang out in that storm. Don't hang out in that weather trying to be tough. Get out of there. And stay safe. Okay, so as the super chats fly in, I will go back and answer them one after the other. Make sure you know that. Hang out. Grindhouse, go to grindhouse.com. GRNDHAUS. Grindhouse.com. 40 plus years ago, a lot of these movies came out, and their original prints are phenomenal. There are boys over at Grindhouse, and I absolutely love them. They're sponsoring the Panic Chamber episode, each and every Panic Chamber episode going forward. Let's get on to the Panic Chamber. We have a bunch of names right in front of your face right here, and we're going to go over each and every single one of them. Some of these individuals are going to be thrown in the Panic Chamber, and some of them will close the door on. And even if we do that, I still like them. They can still be buys. We can still buy a player even if we're panicked on them. And some of these players we're going to talk about throwing them in the Panic Chamber that other people, consensus-wise are throwing them in the Panic Chamber, but we're not necessarily all that scared of it. So there'll be a combination of a lot going on here today. Guys we're panicking on, we're still buying, like Swift. Let's start off with Swift, okay? Because we're panicking on Swift. We all spent high draft capital on this guy. I did, you did. He looked phenomenal in week 1. He came out and looked the part. He was a top 5 running back, and we knew it. We saw it. This guy's absolutely going to explode in 2022, and then he gets hurt. What can you do? What can you do? I think...
Crew.
Whoa. Let me get some music going here. Do I think there's some value to be had here? I absolutely do. Would I go and trade a wide receiver 2 for DeAndre Swift? Maybe. Depends on the wide receiver 2. Do I think that he's going to win leagues for people in week 7 on after he gets out of the week 6 bye for Detroit? So he's going to miss week 4, going to miss week 5. They have a week 6 bye. Do I think that Swift could win people leagues in 2022 from week 7 on? I do. I'm a buy low person, okay? I like to buy low on a running back that can win me leagues, but I have to admit, I'm skeptical. I'm worried that he can stay healthy, but I'm 100% all in if the value is truly buy low. So there's time to panic. He's had multiple shoulder injuries throughout his career. He's definitely a concern. But I think he's got enough time to rest up, and if he wears some kind of flak jacket, he could do that as well. Keep his shoulder stabilized. There's a real good shot. That that this guy could win you a league. So I'm going to say Panic Chamber for sure, but at the buy low level as well. Swift, you are in the Panic Chamber, young man. Next up would be Justin Jefferson. I don't think people should even be panicking, to be honest with you. So we have a you are safe zone, and Jefferson's going over there. I don't care who's panicking on him. I'm not panicking on Justin Jefferson. He had one good week out of the 3. He's going to be a top 2, if not number Kupp's going to be number one. Kupp's already off to a great start, but go forward, he could be the number one wide receiver go forward. Would I draft Cooper Kupp if drafting today, not including weeks 1 through 3? We literally are drafting for a week 4 on league. I would take Kupp. I'm not saying Kupp won't be the number one wide receiver go forward. He's the number one right now. But could Jefferson be the number one going forward? He certainly could be. He's definitely in my top 2. Definitely in my top 2. So Jefferson, no, we're not going to put you in the panic chamber. And he's one of the best buy lows right now. And you may not be able to get him cheap in your league, but I've seen a lot of people and helped a lot of people through my text line get him at an insane price tag, like top of round 2 equivalent. If you were drafting today, he's literally getting drafted or traded for at equivalent value to like 14, sometimes 15 or 16 overall value. Like you could trade a running back right now, get Jefferson, and maybe even get a player thrown in, you know, like a Dameon Pierce, and then you could like trade your running back. Like, would I trade Nick Chubb for Jefferson and some? Absolutely, 100%, no doubt about it. Those super chats, keep them rolling in, and I will get to them once we're done with the panic chamber. So I'll go in order as you guys drop them. So the sooner you drop them, the more quickly I will get to your super chat, just so you know. But hang tight. So panic chamber, no. We'll close this door without JJ in it. He's not in the panic chamber. Absolutely not. Jamar Chase. Are we panicking on Jamar Chase? Look, he messes up some plays. He drops footballs. He doesn't get his toes in bounds. There literally was 2 touchdown opportunities. There were 2 touchdown opportunities that he did not convert on. That Joe Burrow should have had 2 more scores. Joe Burrow should have had 4 TDs and 4 INTs in that week 1. Joe Burrow should have had another touchdown connection with Jamar Chase in week number 3. And Joe Burrow should have about 9 total touchdowns on the year instead of 6. 9 or 10 because of Jamar Chase. There's reason to be like upset, frustrated, feeling disappointed. But no, I'm not panicked on Jamar Chase. He's going to be fine. He's one of the best, if not top. He's a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. He's a top 3 fantasy football wide receiver. If I'm drafting for today, moving forward only, without any consideration for the past stats that we've seen get dropped, I'm drafting Jamar Chase in the top 2 to 3 wide receivers. I'm taking him in round 1 still. And there's no way I'm panicking at all on Jamar Chase whatsoever. Jamar Chase, you are safe, young man. We will close these doors without you inside them. Next up is Alvin Kamara, who we are panicked on for several reasons. Again, this will be a scenario where there's panic. We'll certainly close the doors with Alvin Kamara inside. He has a plethora of injuries. He's got the rib injury. He's reportedly got a few other nicks that he's dealing with right now. And he's got the potential off-season problems. So we're absolutely concerned about Alvin Kamara being raptured from the NFL if the full video ever does get released. If it does, he's done. The Kareem Hunt video, full video was released. The Ray Rice video was leaked. All these videos get leaked. There is concern. Okay, we don't know if the full video will get leaked. People come out and say the video was already leaked. No, it's not. Try to find the full video. Try and find it right now and then come back to the live stream. Stop with it. You know how much time I waste with people saying the video's already out. The video's already out. Go find it and come back and tell us where it is. You won't be able to. You'll say, never mind, I could have swore it was out. I have this conversation about 50 times a day. It's the most boring conversation that I can think of. Okay, Alvin Kamara, if the full video gets released, he's in trouble. But I love buying low right now because people are not only factoring that in and they're scared about it, right? They're scared about it. They'll factor that in right now. They're also factoring in his injury. People are running Thank you for that $20 hauler, Mike Powers. I appreciate you. I'm going to answer your question real quickly because you didn't attach it, and I don't want to get lost later. Should I trade Christian McCaffrey for Bryce Hall? For Bryce Hall? Not for Bryce Hall. Mike, someone selected the wrong Hall, and they're sending you it's a trick. But no. I don't know if this is Dynasty or Redraft. I'm going to assume it's Redraft, but no, bro. Christian McCaffrey commands so much more than Bryce Hall, fair market value-wise. So even if you liked it, it's like going and buying a $500,000 house for $700,000 just because you believe it will be worth $1 million. Like, don't overspend for something when you don't have to. Appreciate your hauler there. Let's give him a round of applause.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Appreciate you, buddy boy. Kamara, sorry, I had Kamara in there and it closed on him prematurely. But keep the super chats rolling in. I will answer them in order as they come in. If you drop a $20, I'm kind of forced to answer that one, huh? Sorry, life's not fair. Kamara, yeah, redraft Mike. There's just no way. You deserve 3 Bryce Halls. You know, the fair market value. So, like, if you're drafting Bryce Hall today, you're drafting Bryce Hall around 4 or 5. Bryce Hall is lesser value today than he was on draft day because it's taken him longer to emerge. You can get a Tyreek Hill and Bryce Hall for Christian McCaffrey right now. You can get an AJ Brown and Bryce Hall for Christian McCaffrey right now. You're literally leaving out an entire player. So get fair market value, and I appreciate your super chat, by the way. Kamara, panic on him. Kamara, buy low. Kamara, buy him for what looks like 3rd round value right now, equivalent, if you were drafting today, from his panicked owner that doesn't know if he's even going to play well at all, even if he does play, and isn't hampered. So definitely go get Kamara. He's in the panic chamber. No doubt about it. But he's somebody that, he's in the panic chamber. But he's somebody that I think is a value to go get. I'm buying Alvin Kamara at every turn, no matter what, as long as he's priced right. 359 of you in here, only 57 thumbs up. You are all in the panic chamber for not liking this video. 360, 57 thumbs up. Etienne. I mean, let's talk about him before we close. Etienne's in the panic chamber. We're gonna close the doors on him, but let me emphasize something really clearly here. And this isn't gonna go over well because we're gonna have a lot of the James Robinson truthers get really upset at me here. James Robinson is playing very well. I was wrong in a sense, but I'm not saying that ultimately I feel like I'm flipping on James Robinson. He's looked okay. He had that breakaway touchdown run that, let's be honest, my grandma would have scored on that play. Like, I know everybody's excited about it. It was a long touchdown run. He looked okay. He didn't look ultra fat. He looked like he was even, I'm trying to be honest here without upsetting a lot of people that are so James Robinson, pro James Robinson, and the story behind it. And it's amazing, and I'm rooting for him. I don't wish injury upon anybody, but he is a high likelihood to get in some kind of injury trouble because he's playing at such a high level in terms of volume on a recovering Achilles tendon. There's such a high likelihood of re-injury or lower body injury your first year back, and he's being overutilized right now. And the way that the Jaguars run, Etienne's going to be a phenomenal option downstream. Right now he's benchable. He just is. He's in the panic chamber, and I'm telling you, I'm going to close the doors on Etienne. It's time to panic on Etienne. But panic to the point where you put him on your bench. Okay, you put him on your bench, and I think you need to make sure that if you see an opportunity where you can buy him low, you take advantage of that, because the Jaguars run the football very, very well. They're doing very, very well. They're impressing everybody. They look phenomenal, considering what they came out of last year with Urban Meyer, totally setting the franchise back. Trevor Lawrence looking good. Kirk looking phenomenal. I totally undervalued Kirk. Kirk looks great. But Etienne's a sleeping giant in this offense that will utilize him properly if James Robinson does get banged up. I like Etienne a lot. I really, really want to acquire him on the cheap. We are panicking because we don't know when he emerges. J-Rob's getting a lot of work. Again, J-Rob was averaging 3.8 yards per carry walking into week number 3. He was not looking amazing. He was getting volume, and the touchdowns were being handed to him. Touchdowns that Etienne would have easily scored. So it's not, so I feel like we're panicking on Etienne, but you got to hold him. You got to hold him. Don't even consider. Etienne, you're in the panic chamber. Aaron Jones, I'm not panicking on Aaron Jones. I'm taking Aaron Jones out of the panic chamber, and I feel like everybody forgot that he blew up in week 2. I feel like everybody forgot that in week 1 he did bad. Everybody jumped ship. They're like, I'm out of here. Week 2 he blew up. Everybody came back around and said, oh, Aaron Jones, he's a top 5 running back. We knew this was coming, Smitty. Smitty, I love Aaron Jones. Then he has a bad week number 3, and now everybody's jumping off the train again. Well, guess what? Aaron Jones is a good mix of buy low and you can't even sell him high. But he is a good mix of hold, I would say. Hold and buy low. I panic a little bit in a sense because Dylan's there. Dylan's going to get a ton of work. Dylan is a touchdown threat. Anytime Aaron Jones is in scoring position, Dylan could come in and vulture. Aaron Jones needs to have all the wide receiver production, like the receiving back production, the PPR production, to retain his value, because AJ Dillon is there and present and looking for the goal line work and all those touchdown opportunities on the ground. But if I have Aaron Jones, I'm holding him. If I can buy him low coming off a bad week 3 and a bad week 1 with only week 2 to give that owner panic and pause and say, look, I got to get rid of him before we see more of what happened in week 1 and week 3 and kind of use week 2 to get something out of him. If people panic and have that, I want to break up with the player before they break up with me syndrome that so many people have right now with players doing well or players that maybe are slumping that should rebound, take advantage, go get Aaron Jones on the cheap. But Aaron Jones is not in the panic chamber. Dalvin Cook is 100% in the panic chamber. We're going to close those doors on Dalvin, no question about it. Dalvin Cook has a labrum and shoulder ball and socket problem that I've explained so many times to people before. It's like this. Okay, your ball and socket is like this. Here is your socket, here is the ball. There is a seal. It's you could almost think of it like a rubber seal. I'm going to use this piece of paper as an example. And that helps keep that ball in the socket, okay? What's happening with Dalvin Cook is he's torn that labrum so many times in that right shoulder and the left shoulder that essentially that labrum doesn't keep that ball in socket anymore. And it can slide out depending on where it can find that torn piece and damaged part of the labrum. It essentially is this at this point right now. Dalvin Cook takes the wrong hit, the ball and socket, it's like this now. Okay? He's going to wear a flak jacket, probably play on it in week 4. Early word is he'll play in week 4. And so that flak jacket will try and keep that ball in the socket. But the problem is there's so much damage there that if he gets hit, even with the jacket on, it can cause all kinds of damage and injury to the shoulder. The shoulder is not as stable with that labrum torn, and it's only going to get worse. Him playing on it is a high likelihood. It's not like you could just wear the flak jacket all year and it hold it in socket. He's limited using the shoulder. If he gets hit in the wrong place, it's still going to damage it. And he's got a high likelihood of getting hurt worse. And Alexander Madison starting multiple games because of him not resting this for 1 or 2 weeks. So Madison season's on pause right now because Cook is probably playing week 4, but he's got an extreme high likelihood of being one of those win a league players, Alexander Madison, because there's so much risk involved here. Alexander Madison, if you own him, I would sell him high. Go to the Dalvin Cook. If you own Dalvin Cook, I would sell him high. If you go to the Alexander Madison owner, try and see if you can do some kind of crazy trade. You know what I'm saying? Try and think of something outside the box to get them Dalvin Cook, and you get something back that actually makes some sense, and you don't really lay off too much, or it's kind of a wash in your mind because you're buying low on a player. You give Cook and another player for Ekeler. No one's going to give you Ekeler for Cook straight up because he's hurt. But if you get creative, maybe you pull it off. You got an Olave. You're playing with the house's money on Olave. Maybe you can send Cook and Olave packing for a doubted player. Maybe you go after an undervalued Najee, who I recommend you sell Najee. But in the case of Cook, where you're like, I don't have Madison, what am I going to do? If you've got Madison, you're probably covered. If you don't have Madison, you're in trouble. Cook, you are in the panic chamber. Next up is Kyle Pitts. Look, he rebounded to a decent degree in week number 3, as predicted, yet people come in and say things like, oh my God, Pitts is still a disappointment. Samuel with the $20 hauler. I'm trying to help anybody with a $20 hauler right away. I've got Allen, Lamar, and Herbert. Let's see here. Allen, Lamar, and Herbert, trading Herbert for either Fournette, Derrick Henry, or Mixon. Also get Khalil Herbert with one of those 3. Should I be asking for more or less? Look, I would take either Henry or Mixon. I don't want Fournette for that. Henry's a big risk though, but you can maybe flip him into something even greater if he has another good week or 2. So you're rolling the dice on that. I'm not huge on Henry, but I'm an occasional dice roller. So like I maybe take him for a week or 2 and flip him, but Mixon might be the better bet. If you were only wanting to do one transaction, get Herbert. That's fantastic. I appreciate your $20 hauler.
To the moon.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Kyle Pitts, you are not in the panic chamber, young man. You are in the safe zone because you did bounce back a little bit last week. Do we want more from you? Yes, we do. Do we want touchdowns? Of course we do. Do we want top 5 tight end numbers on the regular? Yes, we do. But guess what? His owners are still panicked on him. They still have Pitts in the panic chamber for the most part. They feel like maybe they could sell high off this one little bit of production and you can go get him on the cheap. So go do it. Go do it now. Tyreek Hill, look, had a big week 2. He was my favorite buy low walking into week 2, coming out of week 1 for a wide receiver. He blew up, had a monster week number 2, and everybody and their mother wanted this guy. He had a mediocre week number 3, and now everybody's down on him again because he is up and down, and he is up and down. Make no mistake, he is up and down. But this is a guy you can go trade if you have to make a move. Here's another $20 hauler from McAllister. McAllister.
Let's go! Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. McAllister dropping the wad right on screen. McAllister said, yo, bro, my running backs are Ekeler, Barkley, James Robinson, Elliott, Sanders, Carter, Herbert. Need to pimp my wide receiver room. Kirk. I assume that's Michael Thomas, Godwin, DJ Moore. What do I got for you? I'm going to say J-Rob, and Kirk for a Hill, who we're just talking about right now. J-Rob and Kirk for an A.J. Brown. J-Rob and Kirk, or even shoot higher than A.J. Brown. J-Rob and Kirk, you could go Debo. I worry about him getting hurt, but he's a good target. J-Rob and Kirk for Jamar Chase. I've seen that happen. I've seen players like that get traded on the cheap. Jamar Chase is very undervalued. You could try for Jefferson. I don't think you get it. You certainly can't get Kupp. He's blowing up. But you could maybe get a Jamar Chase. You could maybe get a Debo or a Tyreek Hill or a Diggs or a Davante Adams. Adams is playing a little bit undervalued right now. I think you can pull that off, bro. Go get one of those wide receivers using Kirk and James Robinson. I'm not even going to recommend you touch the Ekeler and Barkley situation here. That is what I do. I feel like that helps you win and close out that league and make everybody run for the hills, bro. Tyreek Hill, as I just mentioned, you can do those kinds of deals. You got it. If you're in a position to, he's doing well. If you're in a position where you're 0-3 or you're 1-2 and you do a self-assessment, you look in the mirror and you say, you filthy animal. Every time you walk by the hallway mirror, you say, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Drafting so-and-so in round 3 and 2. You filthy animal. You're looking at yourself and you're disgust every time you walk by the hallway mirror. If that's you, and you need a trade, and you own Nick Chubb, but you suffered a Dak injury, and you suffered a Swift injury, and you're busting here and there, whatever, and you have Nick Chubb, or you have Saquon, or you have whoever's doing really well, then you, my friend, have to make a trade and trade your Nick Chubb away. But Smitty, did he just... Here's casual Caleb walking in late. Worried William walking in late to the live stream. Smitty, did Smitty just say trade Nick Chubb? Oh, don't listen to this guy. You aren't listening to the context, young man. Bob or Caleb, if you're losing, what are you going to do? Hang on to Nick Chubb and play for second place? If you're not first, you're last, Bob. If you're not first, you're last. So it's all context. And my point being, this guy Tyreek Hill is a phenomenal go-get in a situation where you have to trade Nick Chubb because your team's garbage or playing like garbage. You're 0-3, you're 1-2. You can't win in the current state of things, and you have an opportunity to sell a Chubb on the high. Guess what? You go get Tyreek Hill and you get Breece Hall. You go get Tyreek Hill and you go get another player at that similar impact territory. Kyle Pitts and Tyreek Hill for your Nick Chubb. Those are opportunities that you must explore if you're 0-3, 1-2, self-assessment. Oh, you filthy animal. Why did you draft the way you did? I'm so upset. I can't win with Chubb. I got to take advantage of it. No one's trading Hill for Chubb, Alex says. No one's trading Hill for Chubb. Why is that, Alex? Let's ask the chat right now what they think, Alex, because I totally disagree with you. Who would take Nick Chubb for Tyreek Hill straight up? Raise your hand, give me a thumbs up, or raise your hand. Alex, I don't know what world you live in right now, but Nick Chubb is delivering number 1 running back numbers. Tyreek Hill, if drafting today, would get drafted at the top of round 3. So everybody raise your hand in here if you would take Nick Chubb over Tyreek Hill right now. Alex, let's see if you're living in Bizarro world. We'll go ahead and wait for the votes to get casted. Here they come. Here they come right now. 1 vote. I'd take Chubb and run. Alex is a hater. Chubb. Thumb up. I own Hill and I'd counter with more. Alex, you're taking an L right now. You're taking a big L. That's a big L, Alex. You have 100% Nick Chubb. 100%, Alex. So what are you talking about? What world are we living in right now, Alex? Tyreek Hill, not panicking on him at all, whatsoever. People are trading him low. They shouldn't be. Go get him. Justin Herbert. Yeah, I don't see one Tyreek Hill vote. I don't see one Tyreek. Oh, here's one. I don't mean to call you out, but you did vote. So, Maul says they would take Tyreek Hill over Nick Chubb. Okay. Well. Anyway. All right. Justin Herbert, there's reason to panic. Not because of him. The team is doing pretty bad, right? The team is struggling. But I think they bounce back. And I think by way of Austin Ekeler. So let's put Ekeler and Herbert in here at the same time because it's a conversation that needs to be had about both of them. Ekeler will be the solution for the Chargers to bounce back and get onto the correct page and and get things moving again. So the key here is Ekeler. Herbert does better when he gets the ball to Ekeler. Herbert does better when Ekeler scores touchdowns. Herbert is going to be, based on the chat's response, Chubb must be the biggest sell high and Hunt must be the biggest buy low. Just watch Chubb and Hunt switch next week. Now, Matt, what you're saying here it's not like anybody in here is overreacting on Chubb. Chubb is a better value than Tyreek Hill right now, which was my point. You trade Chubb for Tyreek Hill and a player if you're in a struggling scenario or position. So like you're not like convincing anybody here that like, I think you think that everybody in here doesn't see that potential here. I don't think anybody's saying that at all. I think what everybody is saying is that Chubb's got high value, and I think any smart fantasy football owner, and I'm not saying you aren't that, Matt, you probably are a very smart fantasy football owner. Everybody in here, you don't watch this channel and you're not a smart fantasy football owner. Even Alex is a smart fantasy football owner, right, Alex? Alex is taking his lap. He can't hear me right now. But when Alex comes back, Alex can answer this question too. I mean, anybody should explore selling high on a player that's at extremely high levels. You know, when you're balling out like Chubb is, you should be answering the phone. Alex is a good sport. Look at this. After all the blasting he got, he comes in and says, "I just took my lap. I'm sorry." Alex, I didn't give you the official button.
Take a lap. Take a lap.
I'll give you the soft
Take
lap.
a lap.
And I appreciate you being a good sport. Let's all give Alex a round of applause on that one. That's good sportsmanship. Alex to the moon.
To the moon.
Literally, what a good sport he is. You got to excel high. Okay, back. You're distracting me, Matt. You're not getting one over on anybody with that comment. That's all. I had to step in and just let you know you weren't setting the ground like a seed in the groundwork for you coming in and going, "Told you all about Kareem Hunt." Like, selling Nick Chubb's not a bad idea. Okay, Matt, you didn't invent that. That's not an idea you can patent. You can't contact the patent office and be like, selling Nick Chubb high is my idea. I mean, I appreciate you though, Matt. Herbert and Ekeler are going to bounce back. The Chargers will bounce back. Herbert is a concern, not because of the situation, because of what I'm saying here. It's bounce back season for Ekeler, which means Herbert's going to ball out. Ekeler catches a lot of touchdown passes. You know they're going into the meetings this week, the Chargers staff, and they're like, "Okay, I've got it drawn up. Let's go ahead and drop a new playbook and plan. We'll get the ball to Ekeler, unlike last week, the week before, and the week before. And I think that's the solution. That's the secret sauce. Get Ekeler the football. And that's it. Thanks for joining me for today's meeting, everybody. That was quick and short. That's their solution. It's going to be, it's going to be. You'd have to be a complete moron. And maybe the staff is, I don't know, to not understand that getting the football to Austin Ekeler is the solution for turning around what's going on for the Chargers right now. This can be turned around pretty quickly. You get the ball to Ekeler, you score some touchdowns, Herbert gets in a groove, things start happening. Not worried at all about Herbert or Ekeler. Okay? Am I worried? So let's take Ekeler out. Best buy low in fantasy football week number 3. Can I make this any bigger so that you guys understand this? Austin Ekeler is the best buy low in fantasy football week 4. I can't emphasize it enough. I've got it as big as I can make it on the screen. This is the best buy low. Okay? People panicking on Austin Ekeler. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go find Alex. He's on the track.
Take a lap.
Go see Alex. Alex will make you. Alex, you oversee. From now on, Alex is my take a lap monitor. He's already paid his dues. Alex, make sure anybody that comes in here talking bad about Austin Ekeler takes their lap. Herbert's in the panic chamber. I know this is hard to hear because you just heard me say everything's going to be fine. But the injury, we're worried about how long does he stay a little bit limited. He's in the panic chamber. But that doesn't mean we don't buy him. I would buy him low. It doesn't mean we don't hold him. I would hold him. I'm not selling Herbert. How are you going to sell him right now? You can't, so you hold him or you buy him low. and you buy him low with a little bit of risk. You know there's risk involved with Herbert. You don't know how long he'll be hampered. Is Alex back from his lap yet? Okay, so that's all I got to say about that. Adams, look, the astute people in here, the people that have attended university or trade school or Smitty's College of Knowledge, Smitty's Fantasy Football College of Knowledge, anybody that studied at all in their entire life, even high school, whatever it is, art class, I don't care, trade school, whatever, understands what time it is. 3 weeks in, one great week, and then some mediocre play, and a situation where Derek Carr is going to try and do his best impersonation of Aaron Rodgers. He will be pretty effective. There are people freaking out about Davante Adams. What is wrong with you people? And I'm not trying to basically force Adams in the panic chamber to make him look like, oh, he's a great, like this is a good topic. This is real. My text line is full of people saying, do I worry about Adams? Do I worry about Adams? Do I worry about Adams? What do I do with Adams? Is Adams a good sell? Should I sell Adams? I can't tell. Guys, there is no better temperature on what people are thinking than what my text line has to offer you. I share the text line data, not the names or the people that are sending me the messages, but the general vibe as to what I'm seeing out there. There's a lot of people on my text line. If you're on my text line, sometimes there's a little bit of a wait. It could be a couple hours before I get back to you. You understand. It's loaded. It takes me a long time to go through messages on my text line. I'm having to do it 5-6 times a day, and I go through for hours. How do you get on the text line? thefantasyfootballshow.com. Go to thefantasyfootballshow.com to get on. Oh my God. Just knocked the light down. To get on my text line, go to. There we go. Sorry about that. thefantasyfootballshow.com. Go to my text line and order that bad boy. There are so much data here, I can't even begin to tell you some of the dots I can connect with how people are viewing a player and how much of a buy low opportunity is sitting in front of you. The buy low opportunity on Adams and Ekeler, my text line is telling you these are the best buy lows in fantasy football. The panic levels through the roof. The buying low on DeAndre Swift, panic level through the roof. And you should be panicked on DeAndre Swift. Michael K. CPA in the building. Attaboy, to the moon, pal.
To the moon.
Appreciate Michael K. $20 hauler, real quick. Let me interject with this real quickly. Thank you, Matthew. Appreciate your super chats, guys. I'm going to go through the super chats after this. Wide receiver Tua, wide receiver QB Tua, wide receiver Tyreek Hill, Lamb, Kamara, Pierce, Tyler Higbee, Sutton, Stevenson. 2-1. What are my thoughts? My thoughts are I like Kamara and Pierce. I like Tyreek Hill and Lamb. I'm interested in trading Lamb into a Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or a Davante Adams. And the way that you do that is some of these bench guys, Hopkins, Adam Thielen, Stevenson, Sutton and Lamb for Jamar Chase, Sutton and Lamb for JJ, Stevenson and Sutton for T. Higgins, Stevenson and Sutton for, I don't know, how about Stevenson and Higbee for Pitts? How about DeAndre Hopkins and Higbee for Kyle Pitts? How about Thielen and Higbee for Kyle Pitts? My mind goes to all those directions immediately when I look at your team. Davante Adams, you're not in the panic chamber. People are freaking out about you, and they shouldn't be. And for that reason, you are not in the panic chamber. Buy low. Ekeler, Adams, DeAndre Swift, Breece Hall. Go get Breece Hall now while he's still remotely cheap. Go get Jamar Chase. Go get JJ. JJ won't be, you can't steal him away. but he shouldn't be talked about as like a second round value type player equivalent if you're drafting today moving forward. Therefore, JJ's a great buy low. Jonathan Taylor, my text line probably has this guy as one of the most talked about trade away players. Are we maybe not going to see the Jonathan Taylor that we saw? Hey, Smitty, is Jonathan Taylor even a top 5 running back? Hey, Smitty, it's Bob. I got an offer. Someone's going to send me James Robinson, Curtis Samuel, and Olave for JT. Should I take it? I almost told that guy to lose my number. How are you going to trade away a Curtis Samuel, a James Robinson, and a Olave, which was a real question I got asked today about 8 a.m. It took me about an hour to calm myself down. There is true panic going on JT. It's ridiculous. Eight or 9 carries in week number 2 freaked everybody out. And then to come in and not do exactly what he's supposed to be doing in week 3, people are freaking out. Go buy this man on the cheap. He's not in the panic chamber. Everybody's panicking on him, and they shouldn't be. He's safe. You're safe, JT. Go buy low. Ekeler, JT, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Breece Hall, and Adams. Says my text line. Everybody's freaking out on these guys. Unbelievable. Javonte Williams, arguably worthy of being talked about as a panic chamber individual. And you know what? I might surprise you because I'm going to close the doors on Javonte Williams. He will be in the panic chamber. He will be locked in, and for good reason. Because Hackett is a Hackett job of a coach. And the fact that the Denver Broncos won the game misusing Javonte, I feel like it enables them a little bit to continue to do what they're doing. And the truth is, Melvin Gordon doesn't even really bother me. Melvin Gordon isn't really the concern. It's the way they use the running backs in the goal line situations. It's the plays they dial up. It's that option fullback run they did at the 1 or 2 yard line. Absolutely insane. The way they use Javonte Williams. I don't even mind that Melvin Gordon's there. I mind how they use Javonte when Javante's even on the field. But I will say this. Despite him being in the panic chamber, Javonte Williams, you are in the panic chamber, young man. I'm still buying low everywhere I can on Javonte Williams. He's still a massive buy low. A very, very attractive player to go get at a value that's well outside of even his low value from draft day, which was around 15 to 18 overall. You could probably trade James Robinson in some crazy cases straight up for Javonte. You could trade James Robinson and a Curtis Samuel, James Robinson and a Drake London for a Javonte Williams. Some people might even come in here and say, I wouldn't trade James Robinson in London for Javonte. Yeah, I wouldn't do that, Smitty. And we're counting on enough of you to feel that way. That's the whole point of that, is that we need some of you to feel that way. So if you feel that way, great. The more the merrier. That means it's a more likelihood of buying low on Javonte. I do think it ultimately works out. Number 1, he got 11 receptions in week number 1. Let's not forget that the most worrisome week would be the earliest week. 600 of you in here, 191 thumbs up. Please punch that thumb up button if you're new. And subscribe if you're new. There's 602 of you. I bet you 200 or 300 of you have not subscribed yet to the channel. And I'm live right now. I go live all the time. Ask anybody in here. No one goes live more than me. You want to be notified when I go live. Javonte Williams, the good takeaways. Javonte Williams carried the ball or pulled in 11 receptions in week number 1 during the most worrisome week. And that's a very good takeaway. In week number 2, Javonte out-touched Melvin Gordon 15 carries to 10. Week 3 was a disappointment. Kind of like an add-on of disappointment, and it just made it all feel worse. There are good takeaways here. and I'm buying low on Javonte, and I'm holding him. If I've got like 15 Javonte shares, and you guys don't be afraid to ask me Javonte trades. A lot of people are like skeptical of whether they should bring up a Javonte trade. I'm not going to flip out on you. If you've got 5 shares of Javonte across 6 leagues, and you want to trade one of them away and get into Ekeler, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. 617 of you in here, 216 thumbs up. Punch that thumb up button. Javonte, if you want to sidestep out of Javonte, Ekeler. You want to sidestep out of Javonte, Tyreek Hill and Breece Hall. Tyreek Hill and Dameon Pierce. Tyreek Hill and a player. Tyreek Hill and Kyle Pitts. A.J. Brown and A.J. Dillon. Those are all fine sidesteps out of Javonte Williams. I won't even get mad at you if you do that. But Javonte, I'm panicked on, but I'm still very, very, very much expecting him to drop insane numbers once he's fully going. Najee Harris, the doors will close on Najee. This is the final player that I'm going to jump to all your super chats. Najee Harris is a sell because I'm panicking on 2 things. Number 1, his Liz Frank injury coming back. His foot was bent back in week number 1. Apparently, he isn't hampered that much by it because he was jumping over people in weeks 2 and 3, looking pretty agile for the most part. So my panic for the Liz Frank injury isn't the most immediate panic currently. My most immediate panic really has to do, thank you, Paco. I'm going to take off this sweatshirt because I am in Arizona. As much as I love Grindhouse, I do have to take this off in the studio because your boy Smitty is really burning up here. We're burning up. Woo! Ron Navy dropping a super chat. Ron Navy, I appreciate you, buddy boy. I am burning up. I'm sweating like a maniac. I got a $20 hauler from Cody. I'm trying to take care of these $20 haulers while they come in because you guys are dropping massive wads on the screen, and I want to take care of you. My team is Rogers, Fournette, J-Rob, JJ, Pittman, and Joku, Everett, Etienne, Lockett, Samuel, Juju, Patterson. Okay, traded Patterson and Sutton for Chase and Elliott. That is a fantastic trade. I love Patterson. He's doing great, but he did vanish on everybody when push came to shove at the end of the year last year. So I have a little bit of trust issues with Patterson. He's doing it, though. He's looking amazing. But you got an opportunity to go get Jamar Chase. And Elliott's one of the best sell players right now, coming off that pretty successful week 3 outing. People are like, oh, high on Elliott all of a sudden. Oh my God, they're going to look good. And the commentators talking up Elliott, acting like he was the best, thing since sliced bread during the game. You can get rid of Elliott right now. This is a fantastic trade. Go trade Elliott. Go get a player like Kyle Pitts. Go get a player like, what could you do? J-Rob and Elliott for a little bit better player like Kamara on the cheap. You got a lot of opportunities to use J-Rob and Fournette, to use Elliott and Fournette to upgrade. I like your team. I like your team a lot. Good job. Way to go. Nice upgraded trade. I like that a lot, bro. Very, very nice. Very solid. Najee Harris, get out of Najee. Don't sell low. The part that concerns me the most is not the foot. That's where I was headed, and then I got sidetracked there. The foot concerns me. Yeah, long term it does. He's put a lot of wear and tear on that foot. If you have a Liz Frank injury and you didn't take off a significant amount of time, and from what I gather in the offseason, he didn't take off a boatload of time. We're either being lied about that he didn't really have a Liz Frank injury. Maybe it was the onset of symptoms that maybe resembled a moderate potential Liz Frank injury, and we're being lied to. And then we don't even get told. I don't trust the Pittsburgh Steelers beat writers or newsroom or whatever, any information coming out of Pittsburgh right now. Because how do we not get alerted that Najee Harris had a Liz Frank injury until after he was on the field playing a preseason game after he supposedly rested it? I don't trust anything coming out of Pittsburgh right now. I don't trust the offensive line. I don't trust them to get the football to Najee in productive ways. I feel like this is a big concern, and you have the foot injury potential and the usage and the stagnant offense that makes me sum total want to get rid of Najee for a safer, doubted player like Ekeler. Yes, you're going to have to give more. Go straight across position. People will overpay for RBs because they're freaking out about the running back room. They're decimated with injuries. Someone lost DeAndre Swift. You could go get Swift and a potential Higgins for Najee Harris right now because no one knows what to do with Swift. Swift is completely free or he costs a lot. It all depends on the owner. If you go to the DeAndre Swift owner and you say, I'll give you James Robinson, he might give you Swift straight up. Maybe you don't do that because you need James Robinson and you need wins right now. I get that perspective, but you can get Swift very cheap or he's going to cost a lot. It's all dependent on the owner's point of view and how they want to navigate moving forward. If you could trade Najee for Swift and also get a T. Higgins and then say to yourself, well, Najee and T. Higgins are pretty close. If I'm getting T. Higgins production instead of Najee and I got a Swift in my back pocket, I got a Swifty in my back pocket, win, complete win across the board, complete win. That's the panic chamber. Najee, you're in the panic chamber, young man. The panic chamber brought to you by Grindhouse.
You are entering the panic chamber, brought to you by Grindhouse. Vintage movie tees and hoodies. You are entering the panic chamber, brought.
So, there are a few of you dropping some negativity in the chat. Don't do that, okay? Don't do that. We don't have that around. Grindhouse. You want to talk about scary? Grindhouse. GRNDHAUS.com. Go get your custom hoodie and tee. Let me show you what these things look like. You saw me wearing one earlier. I'm going to show you another one. This is a red one. This is the Beast. These are all hoodies from the movies like 40 years ago. The Godzilla versus the Thing. This one's the Beast. These are all from Grindhouse. Phenomenal brand of clothing, hoodies and tees. They represent everything that I love about partnerships, and I absolutely love the partnership with Grindhouse. They are our sponsor for every single Panic Chamber episode. And just to give you a sense of how much I love this brand and the people over at Grindhouse, I'm only, look, they're sponsoring just the Panic Chamber, and I bring them up all the time. I bring them because I care about the company and I love the company. I want to see it succeed, and it's a huge company. I mean, they're doing well without me, but I want everybody that enjoys my show to go enjoy their products because they're phenomenal. You're mixing classic cult movies with amazing apparel, and it's the most comfortable stuff I've put on in a long time. So go check it out. Let's get on over to, thank you for joining me for the Panic Chamber. I'm sorry we had to do that live today, but we did have to do it live because I was a little bit behind. This is a $20 hauler. My team is Rogers, Fournette. Thank you, Cody, for the $20 hauler.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Cody dropping a big wad on the screen. My team is Rogers, Fournette, J-Rob, Pittman, Njoku, Everett. Oh, this is the one I already got to. But I think there was another one that popped up. All right, let's get through the super chats. I'm going to go through all the super chats right now. Appreciate everybody that dropped them. First in the building today was James, followed by Vamp, followed by Carter, followed by Kenneth, Philip, Thomas, McAllister, Chucky, Romario, Tabrin, Baked In Boys, Varun, Master, and so on and so on. Appreciate you all being here. We can't, we have literally like thousands of messages so far, so that's as far as I can go, but I appreciate all of you coming in here. This is a super chat from Amir. Amir says, pick Pierce, Herbert, Javonte, Hollywood, start 2, Mixon. I'm going to go Javonte and Mixon. Look, I love Herbert, I love Pierce, I love Hollywood, but I'm starting my studs, Javonte and Mixon. I think you could make a trade. I think you could trade one of these, 2 of these guys. You could trade Pearson or take advantage of the Khalil Herbert value, go to the Monty owner, trade Hollywood on the high coming off a big week. You could certainly get a lot for this. You could go get a Jamar Chase on the cheap, a Tyreek Hill on the cheap. I know you can because I see people do it all the time. Go trade one of these guys for Kyle Pitts and upgrade the tight end room. But you got to start your studs. Appreciate you all. Thank you for the super chat. This next one is from Matt. Matt says, Smitty, I got Mahomes for Pollard and Mariota. That's
You've just been Smitty.
That's phenomenal, Matt. Nice job. Vamp says, I need a game worn and signed Grindhouse hoodie from you, Smitty. Thank you, Vamp. I'm going to be giving away, maybe I will give away some of these hoodies that I have at some point, like do some kind of signed giveaway or something. So Vamp, that's a good idea. And I appreciate all your support. Grindhouse says McAllister. Grindhouse is phenomenal. Make sure you go visit Grindhouse. Grindhouse.com. GRNDHAUS. Grindhouse.com.
You are entering the panic.
Sorry. Grindhouse.com. Look at these things. Look at these things. I love them. I love them. I have a whole wardrobe. I'm going to get like a rack. They gave me so much apparel. I'm going to get like a rack and line them all up and have like a Grindhouse rack or something and just pick from what I'm going to wear for the day. It's great. Let's see here. Rodney, $5 hauler. Trade Dak and CD for Ingram and Kamara. Yes. Go get Ingram. That's easy. Easy. Case closed. Go get Kamara. Ryan, $10 hauler. Hey, Smitty. You're the best. Thank you. You're the best, Ryan. 10-man PPR, trying to get better at wide receivers roster. Hurts, CMC, Jamal Williams, Javonte Williams, Higgins, Mike Thomas, Pitts, bench, Melvin Gordon, Myers, Dobbs, Landry. Let's see here. Roster. I like Javonte, CMC, Hurts, and Higgins. Would I maybe trade, and I love Pitts, I love that. Would I maybe trade Mike Thomas and Jamal while you can to upgrade maybe just a tiny bit? I mean, I love your two running backs. I would probably go after a wide receiver that might be cheaper. You could probably get, using Mike Thomas and Jamal, you could probably get a Tyreek Hill or an AJ Brown right now. And I would go to the Swift owner, see if you can give him Mike Thomas straight up for Swift. If you've got to give up a bench player, give up Dobbs, give up whatever you got to give up on the bench. Zay Jones is a hot topic right now. I think you might be able to go get Swift cheaper than you think. Would I even give up Higgins for Swift? Maybe, maybe not. It depends on... I mean, it's a good value to have for later. And if you could put in like Zay Jones or Dobbs and feel comfortable with Dobbs over Higgins and have Swift on the bench, I'd maybe even consider that. But I would try and give up Mike Thomas and Dobbs, Mike Thomas and Zay Jones, Mike Thomas and Melvin Gordon, Mike Thomas and all your fab dollars if you can trade fab dollars. Something like that for Swifty. Or trade Jamal and one of those options, Jamal and Mike Thomas, to the Swift owner and get his better wide receiver. So that's where I would take that. Great job, great team. You got this. Smitty just traded CEH for Olave straight up. I could get behind that either way. I like Clyde a lot, but it doesn't look like he's very touchdown dependent, but he is very active in the PPR game. So that might continue. Like, just because it looks weird and he ends up somehow finding points. Cordero Patterson does that every single game. Cordero barely skates, feels like he gets so many touchdown opportunities. It's like, how does Cordero do this each week? And he just does. He continues to do it, and Clyde could continue to do it the same way. We can't just look at it and say, oh, those are odd opportunities. It is what it is at a certain point. On that note, I'd trade Cordero Patterson high because I'm afraid he's going to fail and falter like he did last year at the end of the year when it mattered most. I mean, he carried people and then he dropped off the face of the earth because he's never been a full-time running back, so he broke down. But maybe that was his rookie wall, his veteran wall, because he's not a rookie. But maybe that was his version of hitting a rookie wall, and maybe this year he doesn't break down, but it's tough to say. But in terms of this trade, Olave is getting so many deep targets. As long as Winston stays on the field, I think you actually make out on this trade. Olave is really, really good, bro. So I'm okay with that. I can Smitty approve that trade. I got Michael Pittman Jr., MPJ, and Dylan for Hunt, Bateman, and Thielen. I love that trade. How did you pull that off? That's insane. That's like more than Smitty approved. That's one of the better trades I've seen in a while. You got a steal in that. You got a major steal in that. Robert with a $10 hauler. I am 3-0 right now. Traded two bench players, Woods and Ertz, for Gordon and Godwin. I mean, I feel like Godwin's got more trade value than those other guys, so gambling on Godwin's upside. Sure, I don't mind that. Appreciate your $10 hauler, Robert, and I could get behind that. I don't love Godwin, but I also don't mind buying him low like that. Mike, with that $20 hauler, again, appreciate you. I went over this in detail. You need to get so much more. Mike, did you ever reply? I think you probably did. You said redraft. Appreciate you, Mike, for dropping that super chat, my man. Mike in the house. Mike to the moon.
To the moon.
Mike, if you have a follow-up, let me know. And I'd certainly like to help you more with that question. Traded Christian Kirk, Elijah Moore, and Leonard Fournette for Cooper Kupp. I would only do this trade if you like winning.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Bro. Look, I mean, could you have given up decent value here in Fournette and Christian Kirk? Yeah, but you got Cooper Kupp. You got Cooper Kupp. You do this trade all day long. Absolutely smashed it. Thank you for the super chat. Michael says, good trade. Damian Harris and Elijah Moore for Dillon and Dotson. I would take Dillon in a heartbeat, but that's me. Damian Harris could prove to be, really crafty this year, sure. But I'm taking A.J. Dillon over and over and over again in this trade. Absolute win. Congratulations. I side in favor of Michael in this court case. Kane dropping a $5 hauler. Got Diggs and A.J. Dillon for Wentz and Mike Williams PPR. Upgrade ideas. Also have Josh Allen, Burrow. This is a super flex. Josh Allen, Burrow, Waddle, Javonte, B. Cooks, DK, Hunt, Freiermuth, Etienne, Walker, thanks. Got Diggs and A.J. Dillon for Wentz and Mike Williams. It has to be, Superflex. There it is, Superflex. Diggs and A.J. Dillon for Wentz and Mike Williams. Smash. I don't care if it's a Superflex. You have quarterbacks, so you don't care. This is gravy. You're playing with the house's money with Carson Wentz, who I said before last week's game he would struggle to come back down to earth. Now, he could be matchup dependent and go back up to the moon, come back down. I mean, he's got a lot of weapons. They could be down and they throw a lot. So it makes sense that Wentz could have big games, but he's also injury prone. Don't forget he gets hurt every year. So Diggs and A.J. Dillon, I love that. And you've got an amazing squad here. Josh Allen and Burrow, Waddle, Javonte Williams, B. Cook, DK Freiermuth. Now you get Diggs and A.J. Dillon. I mean, you might as well walk straight to League Safe, the offices, and knock on the door and say, can I get an advance on my money? Show them your team. Just hold your team up, and they'll literally look at it through the glass, and then they'll buzz you in, and they'll get you whatever you want. I'm guessing. This could be wrong information. Probably is not correct. But League Safe, contact them. See if they'll give you an advance. That's pretty good, bro. Sell Swift and Jamal Williams. If so, for what? That's a good question. Tyreek Hill. Davante Adams. You could go Debo, but I don't know. I mean, you want to sell them. Think about it from a draft perspective. If drafting today, Tucker, where would you draft a combination of Swift and Jamal? The running backs, so they're worth a little more right now in the middle of the season, when the season's already going because people's running back rooms are decimated, right? So even if you visualize where does Swift and Jamal go if they're packaged together, you're drafting the package. You can even reach above that to a wide receiver that's getting drafted slightly above that, because this is now in the season. Decimation season is under effect. And I think you can get any wide receiver that's ranking right around that player above. Tyreek Hill. I don't think you could get a Davante Adams, but you could try. Doesn't hurt to try. I have people that text me all the time. Smitty, I got JT using J-Rob, Olave, and Curtis Samuel. I get these texts all the time. It can be done. The veto police might be after you, but bro, you can get it done. Don't be afraid to make that offer. But I think Hill would be a fantastic swap, and you kind of getting out of the Swift risk. But at the same time, I don't go any lower than that, like Tyreek Hill or even Debo or Adams or whatever. I don't go any lower than that because Swift and Jamal are safe. I think Swift could still be a league winner and you got Jamal balling out for 2 weeks probably. So don't get too scared when you've got it secured up and locked up. That's really, really smart of you. Robert with the $20 hauler. Okay, Herbert, Henry, C. Patterson, Debo Samuel, Diggs, Kittle, Jamal Williams, B. Cooks, benches, Chargers, Everett, Zay Jones, Ertz, Woods. Traded Woods and Ertz for Gordon and Chris Godwin. What do you think? Absolutely indifferent on it to a certain degree, but I don't mind getting... Godwin feels like the most valuable player in the trade, Robert. So, again, speaking to this earlier, Godwin is the most valuable player in that trade value market, trade value-wise. So, I like it because you can then maybe flip Godwin, or it sounds like you believe in Godwin. Trust in him. You didn't miss a super chat yet, Jason. I'm going through them. It's just taking me a little bit, okay? So, hang tight, Jason. Yours is probably coming up. Traded Dortch, Ayuk, and Khalil Herbert. Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Look, we've got Herbert as a moon man for a reason. And there's nothing wrong with gambling on this right now and saying, this is my horse. I'm gonna put him in my lineup. I'm gonna roll with him. I love Khalil Herbert. Smitty approved. Nice job. Nice buy low too. That was not, who cares about Ayuk and Dortch? Like, good job. Someone offered me Pollard and D-Hop for Swift. I'm gonna say, as much as I do love Pollard, we don't know when he's going to get unleashed or if he ever does. If he was starting and Zeke Elliott was out for the year this morning, the news broke or something, I'd be all over Pollard, probably even over Swift straight up. But we're not there. We may never be there. We can't assume. You can't trade off of speculation or potential future value or injury that's not on the table right now. So Swift by a mile. Or for AJB, I would take AJB over Swift because it's 2 missed games. AJ Brown to me is a top 25 overall player, and Swift with Jamal Williams would be a top 18 to 25 overall player, top 15 to 25 overall player if you had the package. Without the package, Swift drops below AJ Brown unless you're not telling me here that you also have Jamal Williams that you're going to trade away, because then it becomes a little bit different. Then I kind of like the running back combo, maybe a little more, not much, but a little more than AJ Brown straight up. But I definitely or for AJ Brown or Godwin and D-Hop for AJ Brown. Okay, here's the thing though, Harvest. Everything that I told you, I prefer you trade Godwin and Hopkins for AJ Brown and keep Swift. 1,000%. Then I trade somebody else to go get Jamal Williams, and you're set. So that's my favorite part of that trade. So I wanted to break that all completely down in the best way that I could. Rob with a super chat. Rob says Lamar and Hunt for Herbert and Swift. Man, you can't trade Lamar right now. You just can't. Oh, it's so hard. You can't trade him right now. I mean, as much as I want to say that Herbert's gonna best him, you can't. You got to assume what Lamar's doing is irreplaceable. Swift is out for 2 weeks, then as a bye. So what's your team gonna look like? No, you can't. The Lamar value being 1 and 2, you can't afford to wait on this. Unless you're getting Jamal Williams in it, and then it's a different conversation, but not necessarily going to change my answer. Dalvin Cook or Austin Ekeler? Austin Ekeler by a absolute mile, bro. Absolute mile. Not even close. Dalvin Cook is going out there with his ball out of the socket, bro. Let's put it back in. Hold on. Okay, let's put a flak jacket on it. Now let's go out and play and see what happens. Don't, bro. Austin Ekeler's the answer. And if you get that, take a victory lap. NPR in the building. Appreciate my boy NPR. Trade away Olave and Gibson for Dillon, and I assume that is Elijah Moore. I'll answer it as if it's Elijah Moore or DJ Moore, but definitely put that initial there so I know. Olave and Gibson for Dillon and Elijah Moore. I'm going to say give me Dillon. I love Olave. Gibson, I feel like he's on borrowed time. everybody wants to see James Robinson succeed and excel. And I just feel like I love Olave, but Dylan, if it's DJ Moore, even more so. So either way, I'm taking Dylan. I just value Dylan a lot higher than other people, I think, which I could be wrong on. I might regret to say that, but $10 hauler from Elton. Elton, appreciate you. Hey, I traded Mixon and Goff, I think you mean, for Pierce, JK, and Jeff Wilson. Traded Mixon and Goff for Pierce, JK, and Jeff Wilson. I don't mind this trade. I prefer to get more out of Mixon, but I know people are not paying it, so I understand where you're coming from. And if Goff was on your bench, you basically traded Mixon for Pierce and Jeff Wilson. I would look to maybe trade Jeff Wilson on the high. I do believe Jeff Wilson gets hurt at some point. I don't hate this, but Jeff Wilson and JK for like a Breece Hall, for a Higgins, for a AJ Brown, Jeff Wilson for Kyle Pitts. Like, I'd go after another move to make this a trade where you're getting Pierce and Kyle Pitts or Pierce and Higgins for ultimately that package, and then I feel really good about it. So don't stop there. Samuel, I don't know if I think I got to this one. I'm not sure, but I'm going to answer it again if I didn't. Samuel with a $20 super chat. Samuel!
To the moon.
Appreciate you, Sammy. Sammy Boy says, Superflex, I've got Allen, Lamar, and Herbert. Trading Herbert for either Fournette, D. Henry. Yeah, I did answer this one. I said I'd roll the dice on Henry if you felt like dice rolling, because look, you're like I said, playing with house's money, in a sense, because you got 3 quarterbacks. Like that's the way I feel about that. So like, would I take Henry in that context? Probably. And would I roll the dice that I could trade him 2 weeks from now? I would. But do I like Mixon as a safer option? Do you think Mixon would put you over the top? Then go with the safe play and take Mixon. So it kind of tough. I know I answered that already, but I wanted to give you another approach at that. This one here from Dre. Dre says, I traded Ekeler for CMC. Thoughts? I love your content. The content loves you, Dre.
To the moon.
It's preference here. I'd rather have Ekeler, but I understand anybody wanting CMC. They're neck and neck, bro. They're neck and neck. I love both of them. You did it good.
You know.
You aren't wrong. You aren't wrong doing this trade, okay? It's totally preference. Appreciate you. Thomas with a $10 hauler. Give me your thoughts on my team and any moves I should make. Wilson, that's Russ Wilson. God, doesn't he feel like garbage right now? Russell Wilson feels like absolute straight garbage right now. It's crazy. We all thought he could have a pretty good year. 546 in here. 281 thumbs up. Can we get that to 400 maybe? 281 thumbs up. We got 550 eyeballs in here. Give me your thoughts on okay, so Wilson, Goff, Javonte, Pierce, Carter, Walker, B. Rob, wide receivers are Adams, Gabe Davis, Higgins, Sutton, Kelsey. You got a good team. I got Dak and Trevor Lawrence on waivers. Okay, so that's a good team. I mean, you got a lot of good players here. I certainly would probably consider starting Lawrence next week. I would love for an upgrade at quarterback. Goff isn't horrible some weeks and based on the matchup, but I love Javonte, Pierce, and Adams and Higgins and Gabe Davis and Kelsey. If you make one move, I believe you could vault yourself in away from what's probably you ranking around 2 to 5. I bet there's about 3 or 4 teams that are either equal or slightly better than yours, but you're right there. You're just a step behind. I would take advantage of Sutton, and you might have to wait on Brian Robinson to gain you some value. I would trade Sutton. Yeah, there's not a lot. I love Gabe Davis, Higgins, and Adams. That's a really good trio of wide receivers. I love Javonte and Pierce long term. Don't worry about the slumping. I'd trade Sutton and Wilson. Sutton and Trevor Lawrence. Try and get into a Burrow. Try and get into a... Man, that's tough. I don't know what quarterback you could really trade into. Let's see if I can pull up a quarterback ranking list here. Herbert might be cheap enough right now given the injury. Burrow is still attainable. Kyler is pretty doable. I think that gives you a little bit of a bump that you need. That, and then I wait for B. Robinson to kind of gain value. I would trade Sutton to get into a Kyler, personally. I don't trust Russell Wilson right now. And then if Kelsey gains value, maybe you explore like a Kelsey for Kyle Pitts in a bump from like, Gabe Davis into an, AJ Brown or Tyreek Hill or something like that. I think the door opens for trades for you once Kelsey goes bananas, once B-Rob comes back, once Javonte gets kicking again, once Pierce gains more and more momentum. You don't have to make a move today, though. You could wait until next week, but your team's very, very solid. You got a lot going on there, so don't be too down on your squad. Everybody's got bumps and bruises right now. I've been streaming QBs. Would you trade Pittman, Higbee, and Pierce for Herbert and Pitts? Woo! Yes. I love Pittman, bro, but I like this trade, and I like Pierce a lot, but I like this trade a lot. I get Herbert and Pitts. If you're truly streaming QBs, I kind of like that trade. It's arguable, though. It's very arguable. $20 holler from Josh. I think I got to this one already. My running backs are Ekeler, Barkley, James Robinson. Yes, I did. And I appreciate you. Josh. You're my boy, Blue. Josh dropping that monster super chat wad on the screen. Thank you, Joshy boy. Next up is Cody. Cody says just traded Patterson, Sutton for Chase and Elliott. I think I already got to that one. Cody, that was phenomenal. Patterson, Sutton for Chase and Elliott. I like it. And then again, trade Elliott like I told you. I think you'll get a lot of good value and some bites on that one. Traded Derrick Henry for Javonte Williams. I'd rather have Javonte Williams. I know a lot of people might not, but I think the upside's there. I think he could be a top 5 running back as soon as he's used fully. And don't forget, the usage is a problem, but there's also the Melvin Gordon staying healthy factor. Because the moment Melvin Gordon, he's banged up again right now, but a lot of people are. The moment Melvin Gordon is out for a significant amount of time, and he's an older running back with a lot of mileage, everyone's going to be so excited about Javonte Williams. Trade, and I know that they use, what's his name, Boone or whatever, but I have a feeling you're going to see a whole lot of Javonte if that ever happens. Not to mention, Javonte's been used a lot too. It's not like they're holding him back as much as everybody wants to make it out. How they want to paint that picture, because he had 11 receptions in week 1. Let's not forget. Traded Derrick Henry for Javonte. I like that. Offered St. Brown for Jefferson. I would take, as much as I love St. Brown, I'd take Jefferson. And if you have to add a little bit, Mr. Book, I would add a little bit to get that JJ deal done, because it is hard for people to accept after 3 weeks that kind of trade. Some people do it, though. I see it all the time. I see it every day. Herbert, CMC, Ekeler, St. Brown, Waddle, Kelsey, Jamal Williams, benches, Kirk, Cooks, 3-0. Do I need to make a move? No. I mean, CMC, Ekeler, St. Brown, Waddle, Kelsey is really solid, bro. I would contemplate trading Jamal to the Swift owner and try and upgrade Kirk into a little bit better player, even though I love Kirk. Kirk's doing good, but these are the kind of moves Jamal Williams can get you. You're astute. Scooping up of Jamal has you an opportunity to upgrade Kirk into a guy you shouldn't be getting. Or you go use Kirk and Cooks or Keenan Allen alone, or whatever. Herbert, you go to the Monty owner and offer Khalil Herbert to give Kirk a bump. Go to the Swift owner, offer Jamal to get the bump, or go get Swift using a combination of the guys on the bench, because I think you can get it done. You have a lot of options. You don't have to go one way or the other. You could go on either side of that Swift situation. Alexander dropping a super. Would you trade Garrett Wilson and J-Rob for Mixon? I would take Mixon in a millisecond and take the gamble that he's going to bounce back. I use James Robinson the best I can right now in sell high situations. You can yell at me all you want. You can say he looks amazing. I think he's playing well. His numbers are good, but I watched the games and I'm not it was 3.8 yards per carry walking out of week number 2. He walked into week number 3, averaging 3.8 yards per carry. And he had a big, long touchdown run that my grandma could have run. And you can't take that away from him, but I'm selling high on it. And if I'm wrong, who cares? I'm buying somebody low that I love. It's a win-win for me. Even if I'm wrong, I'm not wrong, because you're selling high on James Robinson. It's a great move for anybody. Trade St. Brown for Khalil Herbert, or St. Brown and Khalil Herbert for JJ. Punch it, Payne. Take advantage of these Khalil Herbert moments, even though we love them. But Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, when you could go step into somebody like that, like a JJ or Jamar Chase on the cheap, you got to take advantage of it. You can't think too much about it and say, look, You're playing with the house's money. Hey, buddy. What's up, neighbors? Appreciate you, buddy boy. Avoiding this hurricane over here. Stay safe, neighbors. Stay safe. That's an order. That's an order, neighbors. You stay safe. We need you. Avoiding this hurricane over here was offered. His Pierce for my Khalil Herbert. Take Pierce and I don't want to say run because Khalil Herbert could be a league winner, but Monty's still in the picture. And maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, this is our special teams guy we were contemplating using on special teams during the offseason. Let's go ahead and put Khalil Herbert in full time, and he's going to be a monster. But guess what? I'm taking Pierce in this situation, but it is a close call. I love Khalil that much. You wouldn't be crazy to say no, but it is a good opportunity to get into a Dameon Pierce right now. He looks good. Dameon Pierce is running fierce, my man. He looks like an aggressive mad dog out there on the field. He's an unbelievable runner, and they love him there. It's not like they don't give him the football and they hate him. They love him. They're giving him more work each week. It's going to get better. Got offered. You're receiving JT, MT, or Garrett Wilson. I'm going to take MT, I suppose, in that scenario. So JT and MT for Diggs and Khalil. Give me JT all day. All day. I don't know why I even paused. I was just trying to take in your team, but I don't care about your team. Your team doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. Go get JT. This is the number 2 overall pick. Maybe Kupp goes number 1 if we draft it over today, but JT's still number 2. There's no hesitation there. I don't know what I was doing even pausing. Miles with a $20 holler to the moon, my man. To the moon, my man. My good Miles. My good man Miles says 12 team, half PPR, Tua. I think I did attack this one already. Pretty sure I did. Yes, I did. So, again, love the Sutton or the Lamb and Sutton, the Lamb, the Higbee for Kyle Pitts. I told you about that. Stevenson and Higbee for Pitts. Thielen and Higbee for Pitts. D. Hopkins and Higbee for Pitts. Lamb and Stevenson to get a upgrade there into an AJB, or, you already have Tyreek Hill, but like a Debo. There are a lot of opportunities for you, Miles. I mapped them out already, but I'm glad I got to focus on you again, because I appreciate your $20 holler. This one from Robert. Trade Brees for Khalil. I would rather have Khalil. I own Monty. I don't care, but yeah, I'd rather have Brees Hall, bro. Don't trade Brees Hall. As much as I love Khalil, don't go trading Brees Hall. This one from Matthew. Matthew says, Smitty to the moon. You to the moon, Matthew.
To the moon.
You go to the moon. You are the man. Appreciate you, Matthew. Devin with a super chat. Devin says, yo, Smitty, should I drop Etienne for Herbert? No. Meeting is in 45 minutes. No. I want you to pick up Herbert for sure. Drop your kicker. I give this advice all the time. Drop your kicker and decide later. Try and do 2-for-1s up until kickoff. Make this decision later. But drop your kicker. Pick up Herbert. Don't drop Etienne. Etienne is potentially a sleeping giant. Everybody stop with the dropping Etienne stuff. But you need to grab Herbert off of waivers right now. John with a super chat. John, I appreciate you. Here's your question that I found shortly after. Traded Najee Harris, A.J. Brown, and Ayuk for CMC and Jefferson. Oh, yeah, smash that Jefferson side all day long, bro.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Unbelievable. Some of these trades. Everybody's, you can't make these trades, Smitty. You can't make these trades, Smitty. I never see these trades, Smitty. The current team is Cousins, J-Rob, CEH, Brees Hall, Ramondre, Henderson, JJ, Chase, Olave. Very, very wide receiver and tight end heavy with JJ, Jamar Chase, and Andrews. That's very, very, very good. J-Rob, bro. J-Rob. J-Rob, and I love Brees Hall. That could be your running back two here that emerges. But J-Rob and Olave for... I'd trade J-Rob for Dylan straight up if you can. But J-Rob and Olave, Henderson, J-Rob, Olave, Garrett Wilson, J-Rob, Olave, whatever you got to do with those secondary pieces outside of Chase, JJ, and Andrews, I would try and get into a Kamara. I would try and get into a Brees Hall using J-Rob. I would try and get it. You could keep J-Rob if you want, if he's your guy. Not trying to talk you out of anything, but Henderson, Olave getting you maybe a Breece Hall. Maybe you can do it that way. Maybe you could go get Dameon Pierce. Would I use one of these players like Garrett Wilson, Henderson, whatever, to turn Cousins into a little bit more safe player like Kyler or something? Sure, but Cousins could still have a good year. Don't take one game and try and, paint a picture. He definitely could rebound, but you have a really good team. If you get into a bind where you're like 0-4 or something, or 1-3, you may have to trade one of your big guns, and it sucks, but you got to make that determination if you feel like you can't win in the current conditions. Like, then you start looking at Andrews for what, and you can get a lot for him. My team is Rodgers, Fournette. I think I already got to this trade offer here. This is a $20 hauler from Cody to the moon. Appreciate you, my buddy boy. Rodgers, Fournette, J-Rob, Pittman, JJ, and Njoku, Everett. If I didn't answer this question, I'm not sure. Patterson and Fournette and Sutton for Ekeler. Smash. J-Rob and Sutton for Kamara. Smash. Patterson and Fournette for Ekeler. Sutton and Patterson for Kamara or Ekeler. There's players to be had here with these combinations. To start throwing out that combo to everybody that's got a guy that's like a second round player, or up. Cody, you got this, bro. You got so much firepower there to throw around. Somebody's bound to accept it. All it takes is just one. Ron Navy, Smitty, I'm throwing a yellow penalty flag on you. Improper putting Javonte in the panic chamber without throwing Hackett job in there with him. Hackett isn't in the panic chamber, Ron. He is the panic chamber. He's the plate that's at the bottom that we put the players on. He lives in there. He was born in there, molded by it. You only adopted the panic chamber. He was born in it. Hackett is a Hackett job. Just unbelievable display of poor coachmanship. Like, Hackett's the worst coach. Doesn't even know what he's doing. He had to hire a clock manager because he doesn't know how to make a decision on the fly. And people defending it like, well, at least he hired a clock. What do you mean at least he hired? If you can't control the clock and understand that, you shouldn't be a head coach. I don't agree with that. Everybody's saying it was a good move. Some people need it. No, if you're the kind of person that needs a clock manager, then you shouldn't be a coach. You should be able to talk to your coaches and say, what are we doing here, boys? Anybody got a suggestion? Hey, I got one, and you trust your trusted source over here. But to literally have to go outside the bounds of your current coaching staff to hire somebody that sits there and watches the clock, you're a bad coach. Should I try trading DJ Moore and Stevenson for Javonte? Yes, Blake, I would go do that in a heartbeat, my man. In a millisecond, go get Javonte at that very undervalued, cheap cost of entry. I have London and Kyle Pitts. $20 hauler from my boy Carter.
To the moon.
Carter says, really, I like both of them, but don't know if they should coexist on one fantasy team. Any thoughts on this situation? My team is Tua, CMC, Lenny, Tyreek Hill, London, Pitts, DK, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and Dobbs. This is good, bro. London and Kyle Pitts. Did I answer this one already? I would keep Kyle Pitts. I would trade London, and I would trade, I would trade London and Lenny for preferably Ekeler. I would do Kamara. I would even try to trade for Javonte. Keep Tyreek, keep CMC, keep Kyle Pitts, keep Breece Hall because he's undervalued. I think Lenny is your upgrade here. I think Lenny and London is your upgrade. I don't think you get enough for Kyle Pitts to trade him. Would I throw in Dobbs? Would I throw in a DK with Lenny to do a different deal if someone didn't want London? Sure, keep London in that case. But I don't think you have to force getting rid of London, but London's got good trade value. Standalone value, maybe a Dameon Pierce. Standalone value, maybe you get your hands on maybe London and Walker, or London and Dobbs, or London and somebody else maybe that you didn't list for a Higgins somehow. And I don't know if you have more players because you have a ... Tua and London, go get a little bit better quarterback. Maybe you get Burrow for Tua and London. Those are ideas that I would explore. Appreciate you, good team. You got a great core there. You just need to make maybe one trade to get in the mix here. I traded Amari Cooper and Dylan for Cordero Stewart. What is going on here? I don't know who Cordero Stewart is, but if this is Cordero Patterson, I'm going to go ahead and say I don't know, Jedi. I need you to explain this one. I'm going to put you over here in the corner. I'm going to wait for you to clarify. Jedi, explain yourself. Thank you, Jedi, for the super chat. This one's from John. Yeah, I know it's Patterson, but like, what does he mean? What's the Stewart part? If it's Dylan and Amari Cooper for Cordero Patterson, I don't know that I like that trade because I like Dylan near as much. Kamara for James Robinson. Kamara side all day, night. Come on. 540 people in here, only 336 thumbs up. Yeah, Garden, explain yourself. This Stewart better be another player you got, because I think Dylan and Cooper's a lot for Cordero, but I don't know if you have it. I bet it's Stevenson. I bet it's Cordero and Stevenson, but even so, I don't love it. We'll find out what it is. I traded Najee Harris, AJ Brown, and Ayuk for CMC and Jefferson. Huge win. Complete smash.
You've just been Smitty approved.
That's it. I don't know how you pulled that off, bro. Absolute smash. Is Jedi says Patterson only. Okay, no problem, Jedi. You don't have to take a lap for messing up. The autocorrect is a mean karma machine. But I still don't love the deal. I don't hate it. Like, Cordero could be the best player in the deal all year long. So, like, don't think I'm telling you to take a lap, Garden. But I would say I probably would have tried to get a little bit more. That package may have got you Kamara, or I don't think it'd get you Ekeler, but you always gotta try. But I don't think you did horrible on that. Smitty, McCaffrey, or Herbert. Seriously. Legion, come on. Come on, Legion. I don't think I've ever put Legion on a lap. He's had to have taken a lap at some point. But if not, here you go.
Take a lap.
Manuel says, what's up, Smitty? What's up, Schmitty? It's Manuel. What's up, Manuel? I say it Manuel. I don't say Manuel. Okay. Manuel, I appreciate you being here. Kenneth Walker on waivers. Keep reminding me how you want me to say your name, because I always say Manuel. On waivers, not sure who to drop him for. Here's your bench. I would probably drop... Ooh. Kenneth Walker on waivers. You can't really drop anybody, but drop your kicker, decide later, Manuel. That's what I'm going to advise you to do. Drop your kicker, try and make some 2-for-1s. In the 11th hour, come back and ask me. I'll probably tell you maybe drop... Oh, God. I mean, maybe Walker's got to be dropped again for a kicker, because you can't really drop anybody. I don't really like the idea of dropping anybody on your team, bro. And I appreciate your $20 holler, Manuel!
To the moon.
To the Luna. Appreciate you, my man. My boy Manuel. Jason. Should I trade Kirk and Dylan for Swift? I would do that. I like Dylan a lot, but I would do that if you can afford it based on your team. You got to make that call yourself. It's a risky move. Dylan I like a lot. It's actually the trade I would make if you were in trouble and you own Swift. So it's a catch-22 double-edged sword. Could go either way. If you've got the depth to do it, do it. If you actually don't, you're gonna end up just screwing yourself. You know, so I would that you got to make that call yourself. It's good value. It's just if you're in a bind, that's the move you make to maybe get out of it. So appreciate you. $10 hauler: Herbert, Etienne, Akers, Jacobs, Diggs, Cooper, Kupp, Kittle, Devonta Smith, MT, Cooper. Herbert, Etienne, Akers, Jacobs, Diggs. I don't like the running back room. I like Etienne later, like a sleeping giant. But Diggs and Cup, Kittle, phenomenal little trio there. MT, Cooper. You got a lot of trade value in Cooper. JJ owner wants Davante, MT, and Cooper.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I was just going to give you another idea that was lesser than that idea. But if you can give up Devontae Smith, MT, and Cooper, Devontae Smith, MT, and Cooper for JJ, do that in a heartbeat. The other trades, Akers and MT, Akers and Cooper, if you don't end up getting that deal done. Akers and Cooper, Akers and MT for a Kamara. You need a running back. I would go get a Kamara. I'd go get a Ekeler, obviously, over Kamara if you can. But Kamara is doable for that package. Dameon Pierce is a good buy low for one of those players, like a Devontae Smith for Dameon Pierce and Devontae Smith for A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon's one of my favorite go-gets right now. Etienne, you put him on the bench and stash. You've got Cooper. If you get that JJ deal done, all you got to do is make one small move at running back, like a Dameon Pierce, a Breece Hall, or an A.J. Dillon using the other players on the bench, and you've built yourself back into the running because you got the potential there. You do need to make one or two trades. If you do, you are in great positioning. Trade Lamar for Josh Allen and B. Cooks. Look, I don't. Who cares about if you have Diggs? Don't worry, Diego. Don't worry. The stack's not getting you any extra points. You got Lamar scoring like a monster. The thing is, they're very close, but Lamar's got more trade value. Cooks isn't doing it for me. Like, get a Breece Hall, get a Dameon Pierce, get a Kyle Pitts, get a T. Higgins for your, Brandon Cooks type player. You need to add something different than this, Diego. Lamar should command more. B. Cooks is not something that's going to push this over the edge, even though they're very close, and I could see Allen scoring as much as Lamar going forward. The fair market value has you getting more. Traded Fournette, MT for Joe Mixon and Deontay Johnson. I don't mind that one. I'd rather have Mixon, the upside of Mixon. Deontay and MT are close. I still would flip Deontay. So thoughts on trade and other league, Kirk Cousins or Goff. Probably matchup based each week. Probably Cousins for now. And then when he has tough matchups, you switch out Goff potentially. But yeah, nice trade. Thank you for the super chat. Zach just traded CEH and Dobbs for Javonte.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Smitty, I never get good trades. No one makes trades. These trades you suggest, Smitty, they just can't be done. Nobody's going to do that, Smitty. Nobody's going to do that, Smitty. Nobody, Smitty. But that's not... My league, they don't trade like...
Why am I seeing it over and over? I see it over and over. Stop complaining about not getting trades done and change your tactics. Here's you. Here's complaining Caleb. Yeah, can I come get your player? No, nobody's trading in my league, Smitty. You got to be stealth-like a ninja. You got to slide in and ask for other players that you don't really want or that you can't get because he holds them too high. And then you just slowly get into the other topic. Well, what about Javonte? He sucks. What about Javonte? He's doing so bad. Or who do you have? I have Javonte, but I'm not. Well, I don't even want Javonte. Why? Javonte's sharing carries. No, he's not. I'll give you Clyde and Dobbs. That's it. Okay. That's what Zach did. Zach didn't go call up, I want Javonte. Oh, you do? Well, now I'm not trading him to you. Be slick about it. Do what Zach did. What would Zach do? WWZD. What would Zach do? Smokey the Cat. Have Monty and Herbert was offered Dameon Pierce for Herbert. I think I answered this already and said get Herbert. And then I went back and I wavered. I love Herbert. I'd probably take Dameon Pierce, but it's very close. It's very close. If anybody had their super chat missed, it's because I'm still going through them. And if you don't see yours, Robert with the $20 holler. Press the button and I don't stand up. Okay, Herbert, Henry, CMC, Debo, Diggs, Kittle, Jamal Williams. Traded Woods and Ertz for Gordon and Chris Godwin. I think this was asked earlier. I take the Godwin side. It's got the most upside. I do try and package them. I try and trade like Godwin and Jamal to the to the Swift owner and try and potentially get some kind of wide receiver upgrade from Godwin. Or maybe you can get Swift using Godwin and potentially maybe a Cordero Patterson, maybe not. I mean, I could see somebody saying they wouldn't trade Cordero for Swift straight up. I could understand that. It wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me. Albert, who said that I didn't find the super chat? Don't miss my super chat, Smitty. That was Alexander. Okay, Alexander, I'm pretty sure you either sent it. I'm looking for it. I traded Najee for Javonte and Burrow.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Bro, if you sent that offer to him, he's going to be in here in like 10 minutes probably, Albert. And he's going to be like,
I sent this offer to Albert. I'm going to trade Albert. What is it? I'll trade Albert my Burrow and Javonte for his Najee.
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
And if Albert, you sent that offer to him, that message still applies to you. This is for you. I mean, that's for you. And he accepted it. So amazing job of using an offer that blows and home run. I traded Najee for Javonte and Burrow. Javonte and Burrow by a mile. Just by a mile. By a country mile, bro. Horrible offer. Nice execution. It's just unbelievable. I would have never thought that would have gone through. Good or bad trade. Oh, wait, Gallup for Dylan. Come on. Like, look, V-San, you super chatted. I appreciate you. I don't want you to take this the wrong way. But if I don't send you on a lap for even asking this question, I'm not doing my audience or you a service. Okay? I'm doing you a disservice. You shouldn't be asking this question. You should be coming in here going, Smitty, I traded Gallup. Smitty, I traded Gallup for Dylan.
You've just been Smitty approved.
How do you trade in Gallup? I wouldn't even pick Gallup up off the waiver wire. Gallup's sitting there on waivers in probably every league I have, and I'm not even considering grabbing him. Like, what am I going to do with Gallup? Like, he's even going to stay healthy. And you get an A.J. Dillon, a guy probably drafted in round 5 or 4 or 6 or somewhere in that range if we're drafting today. V-San? Unbelievable. But take your lap. You do owe us a lap on that one. That's ridiculous. How'd you pull that off, man? Smitty, would you trade... Collusion!
To the moon.
Collusion to the moon. Smitty, would you trade Swift for B. Hall and Mike Williams? That's interesting. I think based on your team, you might need something. And I don't know if you can wait on Swift. You don't have Jamal Williams. If you can't get Jamal Williams using like Sutton or Bateman, and I'd try that first, then I probably would be inclined to maybe take it, only because you're banking on Breece Hall and you got to bank on something, but that's tough. I almost want to tell you no. It's not bad value, but what if Mike Williams just comes out and does nothing? And what if Breece Hall takes 2 or 3 weeks and then Swift's back in the lineup and he's blowing up? So, like, part of me wants to tell you no. Part of me wants to tell you to get more, I think. As much as I love Breece Hall, he's not there yet. He will, I believe, be there, but he's not there yet. You're kind of buying him as if he's already there. You know what I mean? And Mike Williams is like, he's as inconsistent as as anything, you know. He's just inconsistent as when Denny calls in and doesn't call in. Like, we had no idea when that's going to happen. You have no idea what's going to, you know, go on. Traded Khalil Herbert, Etienne for Thielen, Hall, and J.D. McKissick, I believe. I guess I would say this feels a lot of like different feelings all at the same time. Like, number one, I love Khalil Herbert, and he could be a league winner. I love Etienne. He's in the same context as like Breece Hall, like a waiting, sleeping giant. We don't know what's going to happen. 500 of you in here, 372 thumbs up. Please punch that button. Get that to a 400 spot if you could. Breece Hall could get there. He's not there yet. I would say I lean on the side of Breece Hall and Thielen, but Herbert, Etienne, if they both rise up into the lineup full time, then that side's going to crush the other side, potentially. But I love Breece Hall. I'll probably go after Breece Hall. It's a very, very tough call. I believe if you ask me that in 5 minutes, I might have a different answer. It's that close, you know. Trade Monty and Hawkinson for Waller. I would go get Waller, and I don't think I'd hesitate on that. Starting Javonte, Pierce, JJ, Amon-Ra, and AJ Brown. Any way to get Khalil Herbert in my lineup? Starting Javonte, Pierce, JJ, Amon-Ra, and AJ Brown. I mean, you could put Pierce on the bench for Khalil if he's starting and he's the lone starter, but we've seen this time and time again. Guy comes in and then has that dud game when he finally gets started, and then everybody jumps ship and gets tired of him and runs away. So, like, it's risky, but like maybe you do a trade. I probably would start Pierce, but it depends on the vibe. You know, so RS, let's revisit this. Appreciate your $10 hauler.
To the moon.
RS. Let's revisit this later on in the week, okay? Because I feel like we need to like digest what's going on with the Bears running situation and the workload. Even if Monty comes back, maybe it's Khalil Herbert's job. So we got to kind of vibe that out. But I guess I would lean Pierce for right now. Like if you had to set your lineup, walk away, and maybe you never get to it, put Pierce in to be safe. Just got Mike Williams for Curtis Samuel. I like Mike Williams over Curtis Samuel. I feel like that's playing with the house's money. Curtis Samuel was a waiver wire type guy. Excellent job. I would do that all day long. And then try and flip Mike Williams. You know, it's like a buy and flip type of situation. Trade away Debo for Swift. I'd rather have Debo. In fact, anybody that has Swift, that's a good get out of the situation move is to go get a Debo. So no, Debo's playing, you know, full season as of right now. He could get hurt. I really do fear he gets hurt, but that's a good trade to make. Not to make, or make if you need to get into Debo and you're trying to get out of Swift. I do love Swift, but that is a good trade to not make or make, depending on your angle. 1 and 2 in a 14-man league. Thoughts on my team: Brady, Gibson, Pierce, Chase. I believe that's going to be Jamar Chase, Keenan Allen, Kyle Pitts, Ramondre, Hilliard, Burks. Okay. It's a 14-team league, so that's tough. I mean, you got a good team. You're just waiting on Pitts, and you're waiting on Keenan Allen to get healthy. You want Jamar Chase to get steady. Gibson, hopefully you get something out of that. I don't know. I would have grabbed B. Robinson if I were you. But you have a good situation. There's not much sell high opportunity with any of these guys. They're all trying to work their way back into the value you paid, and I think a lot of them will get there, so don't sell high. But I don't see any trade opportunities. I think you got to wait. If you trade, you're just going to lose value. You're going to sell low. Appreciate your super chat, and that's a pretty decent team considering how big your league is. Smitty, remember last time Cook was questionable and in a sling? Yeah, it's frequent, G-Money. It's frequent. And it's Alexander Madison season, potentially. G-Money, I think you sent another super chat. I think it's on the way. Hang tight, or I'll go find it. No Smitty approved. Chase, Hurts, and Amon-Ra, St. Brown, JT, and Dak. But my team is now JT, Saquon, Amon-Ra, Higgins, Cooks. Flexes are DK, Godwin. Stream QBs till Dak is back. I like that. Connor, that's a good team. JT, Saquon, Amon-Ra, Higgins, Cooks, DK, Godwin. I like it. I don't know what, there's not much to even move around or trade. I'd consider selling Saquon high if you wanted to get into like a potential Ekeler and then get like a little like bump somewhere. Maybe your Cooks into AJ Brown or something crazy like that, I would certainly do that. But that's the only thing I'd even contemplate exploring. But I like your team. Mr. Frost, would you trade Swift and Wilson for Rodgers, Jamal, Williams, and Amon-Ra? Trade Swift and Russell Wilson. Why are you guys swapping Jamal and Swift? Like, what are you doing? How do you even come up with... How do you guys sit down at a table and say, I'm going to give you Swift, you give me Jamal Williams, and then we're going to do this other swap going on? Like, what are you guys doing? Does one of you have the game paused and you haven't finished the game yet? Like, how is this even happening, this conversation? We're going to swap each other. We're going to cross streams here. What are we doing, Mr. Frost? I don't know. I suppose I would take... I mean, right now you've got Swift not playing in a horrible Russell Wilson. I'm going to take the Amon-Ra St. Brown side, but I really wish you guys would figure out something that would help both of you on that crossing stream situation. I don't know what's going on. Oh, boy. Did I miss the super chat? I got booted out of the YouTube. I don't know. You got booted out how? Did somebody boot you out, one of my mods, or do you mean you got booted out of YouTube because it crashed or something? Yeah, V-Sam, we made you take a lap. We said that, what was your trade again, V-Sam? I can't pull the super chat up yet. Actually, I could probably go find it. Hold on, V-Sam. It was worth it. You got to rewind it. Go rewatch it. It was this one right here. It was this one right here, V-San. We made you take a lap. It was a good lap. It was that you traded Gallup. I said, who even rosters Gallup? I wouldn't even roster Gallup, V-San. Take a lap for even asking this question, but take a victory lap because you got A.J. Dillon using some sorcery right here, picking up a garbage player and just absolutely smashing the trade. You weren't kicked out of YouTube. You were just taking your lap. But nice job. Just traded Hurts, Hall, Evans for Cook, Chase, and Carr. Lamar's your QB. Traded Hurts, Hall, and Evans for Cook, Chase, and Carr. I don't know, William. I mean, I feel like you were in a good position to get something amazing. It's a 1 QB league, I assume. You didn't say Superflex in here. So, like, why even let the return value be influenced by adding in a quarterback? I would have just said, I don't want your quarterback. I want pure value for my backup quarterback because I don't know why you had both quarterbacks. But if you traded Hurts and you've got Lamar, if it was Superflex, you shouldn't have traded Hurts. I wouldn't have traded Hurts. But I feel like adding in the quarterback hurt your chances of getting just an extra little bump in that other value. But, like, you traded Hurts, Hall. I love Breece Hall, but he's not, there yet. But I love him. Evans is top 6 to 10 wide receiver. For Cook, who's injured. Jamar Chase, who I love. But do I love him that much more over Evans to be downgrading the quarterback who you may not use, but you could get the world for? Hall and Cook. I mean, it's a confusing trade, to be honest. I don't think it's one of those trades where, like, I don't even know that you won or lost it. It was kind of just moving around a bunch of parts. I like it. Try and get Madison. I like it. It took me a minute to digest it, but I do like it. It's a good trade. At the end of the day, it's a good trade. As long as Hurts isn't in your lineup, like as a super flex, then we have a whole conversation we need to have because you didn't say super flex. But I would say Cook and Chase, it's probably worth the gamble. You need to go get Madison, though, William. Appreciate your super chat. That was a tough one to break down. It was just weird. It was weird. Trade Swift and McLaurin for Diggs and to the Jamal owner. Swift and McLaurin for Diggs. Give me Diggs all day long to get out of that situation. Rock out with a super chat. Can I call? Rock out. I'll try and open the phone lines in a minute. Rock out. Leave a voice message if you can, because I don't know if I'm opening the phone. I might open the phone lines. But I'm trying to get through all these super chats, and there's a lot. Would you trade Debo and Madison for JK? Would I trade Debo and Madison for J.K. Dobbins? Oh, he mistyped JJ. Thank God, Tyler. I thought we had ourselves a situation. Debo and Madison for JJ. I would take JJ in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. God, he scared me there. Like, is this guy watching the show, or is he just got it on mute and trying to lip read? I don't know what was going on there. Trade Chubb for CMC, good or bad trade? It's preference, but the bottom line is, Mike, Chubb's the number one like running back in everyone's mind, and CMC, he's doing okay. He's doing good. He's not doing great or amazing. He's doing pretty good, and he's injured already again. Probably minor, but so you should be getting more. Like who goes and says, "Hey, I got the number one running back so far. I'll take your guy that's lower." You know what I mean, Mike? So you should have got more. You deserve to get more. Even if you see him as a quietly better player, you deserve to get more. Fair market value commanded that you get a free Breece Hall or a Dameon Pierce at the very least, or a potential McLaurin, or you know what I mean? Like you were owed something. He owes you. He owes you something. And now he got away scot-free. But it's not horrible. It could work out in your favor, but fair market value did command. You were able to get more and you didn't take advantage of it. Doesn't mean you won't lose. You'll lose the deal. You can still win the deal. 12-man PPR, Tua, Wentz, Chubb, Cook, Hall, Chase, Garrett Wilson, 2-1. Tried trading Chubb for Davante Adams plus another, but he said no. If you want to get into another, combination, I love Ekeler in a player for Nick Chubb, but you have to get another player. You have to get another player. You have to upgrade, Tua or Wentz or something like that into like a Burrow, or you have to get a Kyle Pitts. So would I trade Chubb and Hawkinson for Kyle Pitts and Ekeler? I probably would. That's what I do. Thank you for the super chat. Let me help this guy. Let's help Kabir saying trade Jefferson and Jeff Wilson for Jonathan Taylor and Chris Godwin. I'd probably take the Jefferson side, but it's arguable. JT and Jefferson are still at the top 5 overall for me. So it's like Jeff Wilson's playing better. You could trade Jeff Wilson on the high right now. Should I trade Debo for Javonte Williams and Zeke? I need running backs. That's not a bad move. You're getting Zeke, then you sell Zeke. So take it and then turn Zeke into a wide receiver like Higgins or something, even if you have to give more. Zeke and somebody for Higgins, then you end up getting Javonte and Higgins for one player in a sense. So I absolutely love that move. Tyler, would you trade Debo for JJ? Appreciate your second super chat to clarify. Thank you, Tyler. I almost sent you on a big lap on that first one. JK, I was about to lose my mind. I see G Money super chat coming up. Traded Dylan and Pittman for JT. Smash.
You've just been Smitty approved.
I like Pittman and Dylan. They're actually two players I love to trade for right now, but that is an absolute smash. G Money with the $20.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy.
$20 hauler from my boy G Money. 0.5 PPR, 12 team, 0-3. Hate to see those numbers from anybody. 0-3, but it happens. I mean, everybody's struggling. I showed everybody this board here. Oh, I don't think I have it up anymore. Of all the busts that were going on. Oh, I do have it right here. This is crazy. Here's your top 36 walking into week 1. ADP's locked down. This is the last ADP data that we had before week 1 kicked off. Look at all the disappointments. You have Cooper Kupp, and that's it. You have Christian McCaffrey and Cooper Kupp. The rest of the top 12 disappointments to an extreme degree. Not a little bit. They're massively disappointing. Like bust or massively disappointing. It's absolutely craziness. You're looking at 8 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players that are performing at a high expectation level that we had. 8 players out of 36. So I just want people to understand before they freak out and say, why me, why me? It's just me. It's not just you. 0-3, Goff, Chase, Olave, Javonte, Dillon, Knox, Breece Hall, Hendy, Pollard, Etienne, Freiermuth, Ayuk, Garrett Wilson. Any trades into a better team? I love this squad, bro. I would say Chase and Olave, Javonte, Dillon. You need something. You do need something, and you've got some trade components here. You have Pollard popping off. Garrett Wilson still got good trade value. Hendy, and maybe Olave for Higgins. And then I know you're going to be doubling up on the wide receivers there in Cincy, but they throw a lot. Knox for Kyle Pitts, throwing a Hendy. You just need one upgrade somewhere, and then you need Breece Hall or Etienne or both of them to blow up. And then you're in it. But you do kind of need that trade, and then you need one of those running backs to pop off. You know, you need that. I'm not going to lie to you, G-Money. You got a lot of other teams that I absolutely love. This team does need those two things to happen, I think, to be a scary team. And Goff, I mean, injuries suck. Try and get a Burrow. Try and get Higgins in that trade I was talking about, and then also get Burrow. And then I love it. Burrow and the triple. Got the triple stack there. Roll with it. I would take the gamble in such a league. You know what I'm saying? Smitty, should I accept the trade for Najee? He offered Jeff Wilson and Curtis Samuel. Jeff Wilson and Curtis Samuel for Najee Harris?
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
No, bro. You're not going to trade Najee Harris on the low for Jeff Wilson, who probably won't be healthy in 2 weeks, and Curtis Samuel. What are we doing here, broski? No. Unreal. Should I trade Debo for Najee? I still have JJ. I mean, I'd rather have Debo right now, but it's preference. Traded Chubb and James Robinson for JJ and Alvin Kamara. JJ and Alvin Kamara. That one's easy. Smitty, are you out on Dobbins? I was never in on Dobbins. So, yeah, out on Dobbins is to easily say accurate depiction of my stance. Traded Patterson and Hollywood for Adams. That one's phenomenal. Smitty approved there. Red Pill Lions looking to trade Kamara, CEH, and Garrett Wilson for JJ or CMC. I would Smitty approve either one of those. Probably rather have JJ. I got Kyler. I like that. Thank you for the super chat. Tyson says CD and Pierce for Ekeler. Love you, Smitty. Thank you, Tyson. Appreciate you. CD and Pierce for Ekeler. I mean, that's arguable. Like if you had Ekeler and you needed to divide them up to win, you needed to take a chance. I could see you going that direction. But if you got a little bit of depth, I'd rather have Ekeler all in all. But context does matter. You know what I'm saying? $20 hauler from AJ.
Mashed potatoes!
AJ dropping the wad. I have Brady, CMC, Connor, Debo, Cooks, Waller, Gabe Davis, Godwin, Pierce off the bench. Waller, you got Waller as trade bait. Traded Connor, Cooks, Waller, and Davis for Davante Adams, Ertz, and DJ Moore. Okay, so Connor, Brandon Cooks, I don't really care too much about right now. Waller and Gabe Davis. I do like Waller, Gabe Davis a little bit. I don't love Connor right now. You got Davante Adams, Ertz, and DJ Moore. I smashed that. But I do try and flip DJ Moore and Ertz. Like if you could get a Kyle Pitts in something, I do that. But I wouldn't stop with DJ Moore and Ertz. I would try and maybe trade DJ Moore and something and get into a Damian Pierce type player. You got Pierce already, but you know what I'm saying. But I do like the team. CMC, you got Adams now. You got Debo. you got a good team there. Brady, you're good. Keep trying though to gain that one extra player. Appreciate your $20 hauler. Here, Alexander. I knew we'd find you, bro. Aaron Jones for Hall and Kirk. It's arguable, but I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I think he's got the most potential. I love Breece Hall. If let's say Carter was injured tomorrow and Breece Hall was the lone starter, we have ourselves a debate on our hands. But because it's not in effect right now, you're buying Hall at value that you're predicting him to be at. And I'm not saying he won't get there. I love Breece Hall. And Alexander, just to preface this so you understand, the caveat here is I will be promoting Breece Hall like a madman. And I don't want you to be upset when you see that. But I feel like you're not giving Aaron Jones the proper trade market value return on investment. Your ROI has got to be higher, my man. It just has to be, in my opinion. Send Jamal. Thank you for the super chat. Send Jamal, Pierce, Judy, A-Rob for Debo and Everett. This one could be argued, but I'm going to take the Debo side of this trade because it's the best side, the best player in the deal. But you could argue some of these things. They're close enough. King says PPR, keep Debo or trade for Higgins or a package for Evans. When you guys abbreviate or leave letters out, it starts making me say different player names. I assume Mike Evans. Keep Debo or trade for Higgins. You need Higgins in somebody, bro. You can't trade Debo for Higgins. Higgins is like a third or fourth rounder of drafting today. Debo's in the second round still. So you need like a Breece Hall or Dameon Pierce and Higgins, and then I maybe do it. Or package for Mike Evans. I'd rather have Debo than Mike Evans straight up. But I appreciate your super chat. Hopefully that helped you. David, appreciate my boy David. My boy David says Allen, Saquon, Javonte, Diggs, Debo, Conklin, Khalil Herbert, J-Rob, Curtis Samuel. How can I improve? Josh Allen, Saquon, and Javonte is really good. Diggs, Debo, I love it. I love it. You could sell Khalil Herbert on the high. People want to buy him right now. Khalil Herbert and Akers together for potential. I mean, God, I would shoot for the moon, man. I'd try and use Akers and Herbert and try and get like I'd honestly try for like a Kamara and see what you can get. I would honestly try for a Tyreek Hill. I would go after that kind of player using Akers and Herbert. And if you can't, J-Rob and Akers could get you a Kamara or a Tyreek Hill, I firmly believe. Or go after a very, very low end of these guys. It would be like an A.J. Brown. Certainly think you can pull that off. $10 hauler from my boy Michael.
To the moon.
Michael, my man. Michael says 12-team PPR league just made a trade sending Aaron Jones and Patterson for Jonathan Taylor. My other running backs are Derrick Henry, James Robinson, and Ramondre Stevenson. Good move. Yes, I would take JT. Now trade J-Rob. J-Rob and a wide receiver. Go get a Tyreek Hill for a lesser wide receiver. Get on that. Nice job. Braden says trade away A.J. Dillon for Gabe Davis. No. You buy low on Gabe Davis, bro. This is not buying low. Don't trade A.J. Dillon. He's a very, very nice player to have right now. Thank you for the super chat. Should I trade Khalil Herbert for Dalton Schultz? No. Dalton Schultz hasn't proven anything. Give me Khalil Herbert all day over Dalton right now. Okay? All day. I have nothing but doubt right now for Dalton. I made the lap. Haha. I'll take it, Smitty. Hey, V-San, appreciate you. Appreciate you, my man. IMS says Russ, Aaron Jones, Jamal, DJ, Debo, AJ Brown, Higbee, bench. Think I'm gonna stick here. Can I win? Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams, JJ. You don't have Swift, right? I'll go after Swift somehow. Deontay Johnson, Kirk and something. So JJ, Debo, AJ Brown, phenomenal. Aaron Jones, great. I like your team. Kamara, you got Kamara. Why is Kamara here? You have, like I'm feeling like this is a trade or something. You have plus Kamara. What about plus Kamara? Plus Kamara on the bench? Like, why you got Kamara on the bench? Because he was injured? Like, I like Jamal Williams, but I'm probably playing. I'm trading Jamal to the Swift owner, or I'm going and getting Swift using Deontay and Curtis Samuel and otherwise I'm sending Jamal to that owner to upgrade my Aaron Jones to an Ekeler or a CMC or whatever, like a Russell Wilson. Go upgrade your quarterback using Jamal with that owner. That's what I'm doing. Appreciate you, my man. Sutton or Higgins? Why? I don't trust Russell Wilson. I don't trust Hackett. I don't trust anything Denver other than I trust Javonte, but I'm very upset about it. And I don't trust Javonte's usage right now. I mean, give me Higgins all day long. Higgins is a beast, man. Give me Higgins all day long. I mean, I don't know that there's much to argue there. I like Sutton, but give me Higgins all day long. What's up? Pick 3. Wide receivers: Jamar, Kirk, Cooks, Garrett Wilson. Jamar, I mean, come on, Kirk, and probably Garrett Wilson right now until Cooks proves it. Cooks is getting a lot of targets and not doing anything with them. So until he proves it, and the odd man out would be the flex to flex them or Khalil. Nice team. Khalil, put Khalil in the flex and put Cooks on the bench for now. Now that could backfire. Trust your gut. Cooks, Garrett Wilson. I mean, I want to be responsible for you having 3 TD performance out of Cooks on your bench. So definitely use your gut. I mean, it's close on that one. The other ones I feel like are locks, but that one's the one you waver on. Trade Michael Thomas and Curtis Samuel for Higgins. I would go get Higgins and I wouldn't look back. Love Higgins. He's such a good buy low. Tristan says Lamar, Mixon, Zeke, Herbert, JJ, St. Brown, Deontay. Feel like I need to make a move for a second running back. So Lamar, Mixon, Zeke. Yeah, I would trade Zeke. Herbert's a good trade right now, but I love him as your running back too this week and for the immediate future for right now. Like, that's a crafty play. But I would trade Zeke Elliott. 472 in here. Punch that thumb up button. Let's get that at the $5. Appreciate you guys. Herbert, let's see. Zeke and Deontay for, let's see. Zeke and Deontay for, I mean, I'd even go get a Dillon. I know that's overpaying, but I love Dillon right now. You could get Kamara for that. Some people are going to trade that. Ekeler, Kamara, like try. Deontay and Zeke Elliott for Kamara or Ekeler. Why not? I've seen people do it all the time. They text me it all the time. Hey, Smitty, should I do this deal? It's on the table. What do you mean should you do this deal? Of course you should do that deal. You could do it. And then my way out would be maybe a little lesser offer and go get Dillon, go get Pierce. Smitty, should I trade JJ for Adams and Zay Jones? No, Zay Jones isn't a kicker for that kind of thing. I like Zay Jones too, but come on, guys. No, you're not downgrading JJ. Don't downgrade JJ for Zay Jones. What should I get for... Thank you for the super chat. What should I get for Hollywood? Hall, Judy, and Juju. I have an offer of Hall, Judy. I like Breece Hall for Hollywood. I like that. Damian Pierce, you already have him. AJ Dillon. I would love AJ Dillon for Hollywood. I would take Higgins in a heartbeat for Hollywood. I would take Kyle Pitts. Do you have Kyle Pitts? No, you don't. Those are all things I would explore. I would also trade Hollywood. I don't know if you have Jamal Williams, but you need Jamal Williams. I would trade Hollywood for Jamal Williams if I had Swift. You can call me crazy all you want, but I'm cashing in on that Hollywood Williams value to go make sure I secure up my situation. Appreciate your super chat. B-Men, 30-minute behind the stream. Lockett or Etienne in the flex. Give me Etienne. I hate saying it because I don't know. I don't know when Etienne's going to merge. I just don't know. VSAN dropping another. Trades I made this week. J-Rob, MT for Kamara, and DJ Moore. Love it. And now, after my lap, Gallup for Dillon. Ha. Love it. I knew something about Gallup. Thought he knew something about Gallup. I didn't. He doesn't. It's not that anybody knows anything about Gallup. It's how many times you're going to fall for it. Like, Gallup's going to come back. Yeah, right. And if he comes back, how long? And if he comes back, who cares? Like, I'm not starting Gallup anyway. I don't care if he's starting tomorrow. Does Rondell Moore have any value? You could drop him, but it does depend on who you're picking up. Should I trade Najee for Jeff Wilson and Core? I already saw this one 100 times, but no.
Wrong. Muy mal.
A horrible trade to get Jeff Wilson and Curtis Samuel for Najee. Don't trade Najee low. What did Najee do to you? How does Rondell Moore have any value? Or no, I already got to that one. He doesn't have value. I like him, but he has no value yet. Team, what do you think? Russell Wilson, Tua, JT, Saquon, Elijah Mitchell, Pierce, Ramondre. Russell Wilson, Tua, JT, Saquon, Elijah Mitchell, Pierce, Ramondre. What What do you think? I don't love the quarterbacks. JT, Saquon, that's obviously amazing. Pierce, I love your third running back. Lamb, DJ Moore. I'm trying to upgrade Lamb while I can. Lamb and Bateman, who you probably won't get enough for right now. Lamb and Ramondre. Lamb and Curtis Samuel. Going after A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown's my target. Tyreek Hill, A.J. Brown. Do what you got to do to give up bench talent to get that upgrade. I throw in Eli Mitchell, who's coming back, but I would throw in Eli Mitchell to get Lamb into a Tyreek Hill. Lamb and Curtis Samuel into an A.J. Brown. Ramondre and Knox into a Kyle Pitts. That's where I'd take that team. Gabriel with a super chat. Appreciate you. Traded Kyler and Khalil for Justin Herbert and Myers. I mean, because Herbert's hurt right now, it makes it hard to say that was a slam dunk. But if Herbert returns to form, then you're going to be fine. But I can't like stamp it like, oh, you smashed it, because we just got to make sure Herbert's back and good to go. But I mean, ultimately, I do like that. But I think Herbert, if Kyler plays ball and balls out like from here on out, and Herbert's a top 10 running back, then it's going to be hard to really judge it. My wide receiver position is weak. I have Hurts. Another team wants my backup, Trevor Lawrence. I got offered Olave for him. I like Olave. I like Olave and London. I probably like, I don't know who I like better. They're both pretty equal. I try and get both, bro. Like, if he's hurting, maybe he'll do it. But yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind either one of those guys, and I like both of them. I flip a coin. Lavi's getting all those deep targets, but I worry about Winston staying healthy more than I worry about Mariota and Ritter trying to figure that out. And I feel like Drake London might be a little more secure, but it's tough to say. My team is Cousins, CMC, Khalil Herbert, Jamar Chase, Jefferson, Thomas, Ertz, J-Rob, Swift, and Swift on the beach. He is on the beach right now for a couple weeks. Cousins, CMC, Khalil Herbert, Chase, Jefferson. I mean, you got stacked wide receivers, man. J-Rob. Trade J-Rob now. Go get Jamal and something for J-Rob. Or you just start J-Rob right now and wait for... Yeah, keep J-Rob. Look, J-Rob is... Scratch that. J-Rob's going to be good enough for the next couple weeks that's better than... Maybe it's better. I don't know if it's better than Jamal. It's better than Jamal because you got a lot more long-term value potentially with J-Rob. I think you get something else, but you got to go get Jamal somehow. But I would use James Robinson. I sell high on James Robinson. James Robinson and Mike Thomas for... James Robinson and Mike Thomas for Kamara, for Tyreek Hill, or A.J. Brown. Smash it. Jimenez, Kyler Murray, and Hollywood Brown available. Trades would you do? Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown are available. How would I know what to do on that, though, bro? I don't know your team. Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown available. Trades you would do. I appreciate the super chat. I'm trying to like make something up here because I don't know how the heck I'm going to help you. If you said something way up there, I have no idea what it was at this point. But I would say, I mean... You got a J-Rob handy. You got a Curtis Samuel handy. Maybe follow up. Put a bunch of red question mark emojis with a follow up or something. But I don't know how to help without the information. Don't write me a book though. My Burrow, Ekeler, Damian Pierce, Etienne, Hall, Henderson, Diggs, St. Brown. What a trade. Let's see. Burrow, Ekeler, Damian Pierce, Etienne, Hall, Henderson, Diggs, St. Brown. That's a good team. I mean, you got a really good squad. I would say want to trade Ekeler for non-PPR. Ekeler for non-PPR. I don't know that I'd trade Ekeler. I guess you could go after like you could go after a CMC. You could give like a player like Curtis Samuel, or you could give a player like London if you want to upgrade into CMC. If you feel like CMC is a better running back, sure, I'm okay with that. Nick Chubb, sure. Drake London, Ekeler. I just don't know if anybody's going to do that, but I like your team. I don't think you need to do anything like that. I like Curtis Samuel and Henderson for like you got Hall. You got all these players that I would recommend going and getting. If you could upgrade London London and Henderson for Higgins. Go after, who's your tight end? Irv Smith, go after Kyle Pitts. Using London and Henderson for Kyle Pitts, I'd do that. Very, very good. Thank you, Rock Out, for their super chat. Dre says 12-man PPR, 3 wide receiver, 2 flex, Josh Allen, Chase, Javonte, Hall, Pierce, Mike Williams, Garrett Wilson. Stay put. You don't have a lot of sell highs. There's not really much you can do here. Really, the only thing you could even do is sell Josh Allen, and I don't think I want you to do that. I think you got to stay put until Stevenson gains some value, Gabe Davis gains some value back, Garrett Wilson regains his value, and Mike Williams. Yeah, there's not much you can do here. You trade Josh Allen for Burrow and like a big name player. That's it. That's the only thing you can do there. But I would wait. I would not make any rash decision. Force with the super chat, Everett and Melvin Gordon for Goddard. I could get behind that, but Everett's as good as Goddard in some respects, but I think he's harder to trust. So yeah, give me Goddard. I'd take that. I'm not really concerned about Melvin Gordon. Nothing to it but Truitt. Thank you for the super chat. Najee, Romeo Dobbs, and Jamal Williams for Fournette, Judy, and Jacobs. Jamal Williams, Fournette. For Fournette. No, a Najee side. I'm not doing that. Fournette doesn't. No, absolutely not. I almost didn't see Najee on that. Kyle with the $5 hauler. Wide receivers are Hill, AJ Brown, Adams at flex. You have St. Brown. That's amazing. Would you sub St. Brown for anyone, or assume he's good to go? Yeah, until you find out he's not going, he's in the lineup. Like, you don't even consider sitting St. Brown at all. Stamper says peer. Let's see here. Stamper says pair character. Just super chat with the your question not attached. Sometimes those alt tag descriptions get me. I'm like, is he trying to write something like pair so and so with someone? No, it's a pair. It's a pair character. I can't see it. Let me look at the YouTube chat for the pair character. Thank you for the super chat. I got Herbert, Waddle, London, Henry, Javonte. Should I play Garrett Wilson or J-Rob at flex? Probably J-Rob right now. But you wouldn't be crazy to go either direction. And I appreciate your super chat. Raul, Pierce and Pittman for Javonte and Debo or Waddle. I mean, I'd probably take Waddle over Debo if you had the choice. But yeah, you trade Pierce and Pittman for that. Any variation there. D Gear. Have Allen, Patterson, CMC, Higgins, Garrett Wilson, Waller, Godwin, Bateman. I know I need a wide receiver, but not sure if I could go get Hopkins as well. Okay, so I would say Allen, C. Patterson, CMC are good. Yeah, Higgins, Garrett Wilson. I would trade Godwin and Wilson. I would trade Hopkins and Wilson, Hopkins and Godwin. Any of those combinations for an AJ Brown, I would definitely be interested in. I mean, you've got Higgins and Garrett Wilson are pretty decent, but would I rather have? Who could you get? AJ Brown is the target here. I think AJ Brown's a pretty good target for you. I also wouldn't be afraid to go get Kyle Pitts using like a Bateman or a Godwin with your tight end, assuming your tight end, or Hopkins, assuming your tight end isn't absolutely, monster already. But Hopkins is good to wait on, I suppose. I would try and wait on Hopkins. I would trade. Oh yeah, Waller. I'm sorry, I barely saw it. Waller. I would trade Waller in for Pitts if it upgraded your Garrett Wilson into, said AJ Brown, and then you had to give Godwin like that. Go to that Kyle Pitts owner, see if you can do some kind of crazy or upgrade you into Waller type of move. You know what I'm saying? Kerry, Smitty, you might have missed my super chat. Okay, Kerry, I'm going to put you right here and search for it at the end. I'm sorry about that. Trade Mike Williams and Khalil Herbert for Waddle. I would take Waddle in a heartbeat. And that's me loving Khalil Herbert. All right, broski. Ron with a $10 hauler. Would you trade J-Rob and Dylan for CMC? Yes, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Come on, man. In a heartbeat. 100% Smitty approved. Jason says, should I offer Pollard for Swift? Absolutely, go get Swift. Some of the trades I've seen happen for Swift have been crazy, and other people are turning down very good offers. It's you don't really know until you try with DeAndre Swift. 12-team PPR: Josh Allen, Mixon, Hunt, Stevenson, Henderson, Michael Pittman, Michael Thomas, McLaurin, Lockett, Bateman. What can you do? That's tough sledding, bro. I feel like you got hit by something. That team's like missing something here. Josh Allen, Mixon, Hunt. It must be it's a 12-team league. Henderson, Pittman, Michael Thomas. You must have taken Pittman like in the 3rd round or something, man. Because it feels like it's missing something. It's like someone, like one of your players fell off the truck. They fell off the bus on the way to the stadium. Mixon, appreciate your super chat, by the way. I'm just trying to fix it for you. Let's fix this. I'd say Henderson and Mike Thomas for Tyreek Hill, baby. Mike Thomas and Hunt for Tyreek Hill. Stevenson, Henderson, Hunt, Mike Thomas, McLaurin. Go get a Tyreek Hill using combinations of those guys. Don't give up all of them, but you know what I'm saying. Like McLaurin and Henderson for a Tyreek Hill, I would do that. McLaurin and Henderson for a Kamara or a Ekeler, of course I would do that. Michael Thomas and McLaurin together for I don't know if you can do that. Mike, who's your tight end? I'd go get Kyle Pitts using Darrell Henderson. You need a running back bad. Go get Breece Hall using... God, what can you do? Darrell Henderson and Lockett, or Darrell Henderson and Bateman for Breece Hall, or Dameon Pierce. That's tough, man. You don't have a lot of sell highs either. You almost have to wait for Mixon to return some value, Pittman to gain his value back. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Those are my initial ideas, but Kyle Pitts would be a good target for you. Got offer Chubb for Ekeler. I take Ekeler if you get more, but you can't downgrade to Ekeler because perceived value. Ekeler's in the 2nd round right now, and Chubb's the #1 running back in everyone's mind. So, like, do I want Ekeler? Yeah. Do I quietly want to do this trade, like, and get something? Yeah. But you got to get like a Higgins or a Breece Hall or something significant thrown in, a Kyle Pitts, or it's just not a fair trade for you. You're leaving a lot on the table. Michael with a $20.
Mashed potatoes!
Yep. Michael dropping the 20. Yo, Smitty, what wide receiver can I get with Khalil Herbert and Tony Pollard? Start at Tyreek Hill, then work down to A.J. Brown, even Higgins, and then, like, that's where I cut it off, because I think Khalil Herbert's got enough upside to where you need to sell high. Sell high, baby. Kerry, I'm going to look for your super chat. I could have swore I got to it, but I'm going to look for it right after this. Goff, Ekeler, Javonte. How do I upgrade at QB? B-Rob's kind of fun to acquire right now. Edmonds scored 2 touchdowns. Use Edmonds and Goff and go get Aaron Rodgers. Go get someone like right around that caliber. Stafford. Maybe you like Goff as much as Stafford or Aaron Rodgers, but Kyler Murray is even attainable. Like, Edmonds is pretty tradable right now, coming off that 2 TD game. Burks, people like Burks. People like B-Rob. I'd rather you keep B-Rob, but certainly something that you could explore. Yo, Smitty, what wide receiver could I get? Okay, thank you. The show loves you back, buddy boy. Curtis Samuel or AJ Million? I like AJ Million or Pollard for Ekeler. Give me Ekeler, and I'd trade AJ Million or Pollard, but I'd rather trade Pollard. I'd rather keep AJ Dillon. That could change, but right now Zeke's not hurt or out for the season or something, so Pollard is below. But yeah, of course, I'd do any combination of that, to be honest with you. James, drop Cooks or Gibson. No, drop Cooks or Garrett Wilson for Dameon Pierce, or drop Cooks or Garrett Wilson. I dropped Cooks for A.J. Dillon, but you got to pick up either one of these guys. Pierce and Dillon are on waivers. You need both of them. You need both. I dropped both wide receivers for both running backs if they're out there on waivers. That's crazy. Standard trade Chubb for Ekeler and Brady. You have Goff. That's an interesting one. I would say I don't know that Brady's that big of an upgrade though. Can you get anything else? I mean, I would do it if push came to shove. Yeah, Green Beats. We're still going, my man. We're still going. I'm getting a little tired here though. We'll be leaving here soon. This is a 2 hour and 34-minute live stream. Evans and Schultz for Higgins. I would take Evans has more value than Higgins, so that you can't overspend. I like the idea, but you're the one that needs to get something. You know, I traded Samuel, Herbert, and oh man, I got rid of. Where is Carrie's question? Well, I'll search for it. I got rid of. I traded Samuel, Herbert, and Swift for Chase. Curtis Samuel, if that's Debo, I don't like that at all. If that's Curtis, Herbert, I wish you guys would use this. Curtis Samuel or Debo. If that's Curtis Samuel, Herbert, and Swift for Chase, I love it. If you got rid of Debo on top of that, I don't love it. Debo, Pollard for Higgins, Breece Hall. Give me Higgins and Breece Hall, but that's tough. That's tough. I could waver on that one. I could see myself going back and forth on that one, broski. Trade Dalvin and Mike Williams for Ekeler and Sutton. I guess Ekeler and Sutton because I don't trust where Cook is at right now. Eddie, thank you for the super chat. Burrow, Chase, Gabe Davis, 0-3 trade advice. Burrow, Chase, Gabe Davis, Aaron Jones, Javonte. You got a good team. Herbert and Akers, or Dobbs and Akers, or Dobbs and Herbert. And you go after a Higgins, even though you've got Chase and Burrow anyway. You go after a Breece Hall. You go after a Kyle Pitts. Those would be my first thoughts. Thank you, Eddie, for the super chat. I have Pollard too, Smitty. James, I have no idea what your question was at this point. You have to understand the amount of volume I see. I'm sorry. I wish I knew what to apply that to. I'm a Swift owner and someone offered me. I don't think that Pollard thing changes anything, by the way. Whatever it was. I'm a Swift owner and someone offered me Jamal for Hopkins. I would take Jamal. You need Jamal, bro. You need Jamal. I would do that. Jamal's important for you. You got to overpay because you didn't get him. You dropped the ball on that one. It's okay. We all do it. And sometimes the benches are small. And so you got to forego stuff like that sometimes. Start Goff or T-Law over Stafford this week. I'd probably start Stafford, but Law's pretty good. Okay, we're caught up here. Thank God. Okay, Carrie, super chat. Here we go. Smitty, you missed my super chat. Here we go. Carrie, trade Michael Thomas and Curtis Samuel for Higgins. I take Higgins. I think I saw that one. I think I did answer that one. I'm not sure. But I take Higgins. I trust Higgins a lot more. Carrie, appreciate you waiting on that one. I'm sorry about the wait. Would you trade CMC for Mixon and Etienne? I would rather have CMC. Traded Pierce plus Dortch for Fournette. Spitty approved. I mean, no. I think you got better value according to everybody else, and I would then trade Fournette for more value than Pierce would have probably ever gotten me. So at the end of the day, maybe I would do it if I felt like I could turn Fournette into something like Javonte. But I quietly like Pierce as much as Fournette, but I know that you can get more. So on its face, I don't mind this because I feel like you can trade. But I don't love Fournette. I don't love Fournette at all. But it's a good trade, fair market value wise, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying, broski? Give up Hurts for Amon-Ra or Adams. It depends on what your quarterback situation would be. I'd rather have Adams. Adams goes a lot higher than Amon-Ra, so give me Adams over Hurts, sure, if it's a 1 QB league, but it does kind of matter what goes down with your quarterback spot. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you all. If I missed a super chat, I'm very, very sorry. Please let me know in the comments with a bunch of like red question mark emojis and say you missed my super chat. Don't abuse that or try and pretend. I mean, I'll still answer your questions, so you can ask anyway. I answer pretty much 99% of the questions. I've been a little behind. I promise you I'll get to almost everyone I can tonight. But so ask a question in the comments and I'll get back to you. If I miss your super chat, please use question mark emojis. I'll give you special attention in the comments if I missed you. Herbert, running back Mixon, Javonte Dillon, Amon-Ra, London. How does this team look? Any trade recommendations? I mean, Mixon, Javonte, and Dillon are pretty good with Hall. That's a really good running back room. Amon-Ra, London, Curtis Samuel, Garrett Wilson. You could use a wide receiver upgrade. Everett's okay. I would potentially use like London and Dillon for Kamara. London and Dillon for Tyreek Hill. Curtis Samuel, Garrett Wilson, any one of those guys, both of them with Everett to get Kyle Pitts. Hall and London for Kamara or Ekeler or Tyreek Hill, or I'd even give, Curtis Samuel and Dillon for AJ Brown. Those are some options that I would explore for that team. But it's a good team. You don't need to do anything yet. You need to let some players gain value, and I think address some buy low, sell highs next week more than anything. Carlton, AJ Brown, Javonte, and Keenan Allen for JT and B Cooks. AJ Brown, Javonte for Keenan Allen and JT. Oh my God, JT and B Cooks. Javonte, Keenan Allen, and AJ Brown for JT and B Cooks. Give me the AJ Brown side and Javonte. That's hard because I love JT, but that's really, really hard. All right, guys, appreciate you. Please, if I missed you, thank you, D-Class. If I missed you, please drop your super chat in the comments with question mark emojis. Let me know I missed you. I will take extra special care of you if I did miss you, or if I hit this button and you super chat and I don't get a chance to reply, then I will give you extra special attention in the comments. So please let me know I missed you. I will see you all maybe tonight. I don't know. We did almost a 2-hour and 40-minute live stream. We'll see. Appreciate you all. I may go live tonight. Until then, I will see you tomorrow.
Get breached. Get breached.
Smitty, you're not hearing me. I don't know a lot about fantasy football. I know everything about fantasy football. Woo! You know